my heart is. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know.
Setting Dylan Gabriel up.
Look at what I
Biggest
started.
L on
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know. Look at what I did, look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know.
Setting Dylan Gabriel up.
Look at what I
Biggest
started.
L on
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know. Look at what I did, look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know.
Setting Dylan Gabriel up.
Look at what I
Biggest
started.
L on
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know. Look at what I did, look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know.
Setting Dylan Gabriel up.
Look at what I
Biggest
started.
L on
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know. Look at what I did. Look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Ran in my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Ran in my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they
They're
don't
setting Dylan Gabriel up to take the biggest L out of
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Ran in my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Ran in my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know.
What is going on, everybody? How y'all feeling today? More football. It's a new day. It's a new day in Cleveland. It's another Monday. We get closer to the guys actually getting on the grass, putting pads on, and things being real. One more day closer to the goal. So shout out to each and every one of y'all for being here. Let me run through my quick sound check. Make sure we sounded good on my end. All right, good. Sound check is good. We are good on my end. Let me shut this down so I'm not distracted. Let's go. All right, we got a good one today. So we are going to get some motivation. We're going to go up to Boulder for some motivation from Colorado defensive coordinator Chris Marve. He's going to give us some motivation today. Then in receipts, we're going to look at Travis Hunter and his first time speaking to the media. We're going to look at what Jared Verse had to say to Stephen A. Smith about the Cleveland Browns and this upcoming season. We're going to look at Boog, who was on the Uncle Neely. I believe he was on with Uncle Neely. We're going to get to that. Then it's going to be all about the Browns. It's going to be all about the Browns after that. Access denied. And access denied, we're going to hear from Jimmy Haslam. We're going to hear from Shedeur. We're going to hear from the Todd Father. We're going to hear from Deshaun Watson. And we're going to clarify something that Coach Monken has been talking about. Coach Monken said, okay, interceptions are part of it if you learn from interceptions. You need to learn from interceptions. People are not playing the full statement that he makes about interceptions. We're going to clarify that when we get to that portion of the show. And then, of course, at noon, we're going to hear from whatever players that the Browns make available today. I didn't see it the last time I checked which players, but we're going to see which players are available today. And then also we got the Todd Father, Coach Monken, available at 12:50 before practice starts at 1:15. So we got a good one for y'all today. We got a good one, y'all. We got a good one. We got a good one. But y'all know we do this thing right. We do this thing only the way we can. We're going to greet everybody in the chat. So we're going to go to the top of the chat and make sure we greet everybody on their way in. Make sure you hit the like button. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you are watching the replay from your phone, make sure you hype the video. Let people know you're enjoying this thing. We got some big things coming. First one in the box, we got Zedric. Good morning, good people. Zedric, what's going on? My dog. Good morning, man.
Nah, I just didn't care. And I said what I said. I'm not going to say it again, but I just don't care.
What's going on? Joanna, what's going on? Good morning. How you feeling today? Flower Blue, what's going on? Morning, everyone. Good morning to you. What's going on, Craig? Good morning, D and chat, fam. Back from vacation. Hopefully you enjoyed your vacation. If I'm not mistaken, you went to Vegas. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself out there and ready for some football. Go Browns. Let's get it. It's time. Let's get it. Let's get it. Amber, good morning. Good morning, my good people. Good morning, Amber. Top of the morning, Black Pearl. Where we at? Here we go.
What's up? What's up? What up?
What's going on? What's going on? Where we at? Where we at? Selmo Fudd. Good morning, D. As always, Dog Pound Big Dog 100. What's going on, Selmo Fudd?
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo.
My bad, Daisha. The Streamlabs bot is tripping. It shouldn't have put you on timeout for that. My bad. Where we at? CO7111. Good morning. Good morning, all. Happy Monday. What's going on, CO7111? Glad to have you here. We got our Jizzle in the building. What's up, chat room? Off the record D. What's going on, our Jizzle?
Looking at
No, I ain't looking at no feet. Now ain't nobody looking at no feet.
You're looking at feet? All right. I'm looking at feet.
What's going on, our Jizzle? Felix, what's going on? You're not too late. We still saying good morning to everybody, so you are right on time. Some might even say perfect timing. Good morning, Felix. Again, my apologies about that, Daisha. Happy Monday, Off the Record fam. Good morning, Daisha. Glad to have you. Tool Man, Bumgia. How you feeling, man? Glad to have you. Tool Man, later on, when we get more people here, I'm going to ask if anybody wants to run a off the record fantasy football this year. So I didn't forget, shout out to you, your comments you sent me on X. Dana, what's going on? Good morning, Dana. Glad to have you in the building. Glad to have you. Shout out to each and every one of y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all's time. I definitely appreciate y'all being here and being part of the show. I appreciate y'all. So thank you to everybody for being here. Especially shout out to the people on Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon crew. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Now, the fours, y'all see the thumbnail. The funny thing is, I took this picture for this thumbnail before the controversy. I took this picture for the thumbnail before the controversy with Jerry Judy. That's what I was meaning to say. And I was like, perfect timing. Let me go ahead and put the fours up. So 4, you talking TDs, right? That's how many touchdowns Shedeur had when they were doing red zone drills. So one thing I really appreciate is they're breaking it down when they're working on certain things. And Todd Monken being transparent about that is good. It also gives you a view into what you can expect. So when they have red zone drills, guys are going to throw the ball up and they're going to kind of put it in an area where it could be in harm's way. So not putting the ball in harm's way is a plus, especially in the red zone, because you just don't have that much space to work with. But, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. Jimmy Hendrix, welcome to another day in paradise. Welcome in, Jimmy Hendrix. How you doing? How you doing? I got a good one for us. All right, y'all. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Let's get to it. Shout out to Bucky, Well Off Media. Definitely a trailblazer in the social media space when it comes to covering a team, a head coach, a Hall of Famer, and rising star athlete players. So shout out to Bucky and Well Off. Keep doing your thing. Let's get it going, y'all. We got motivation. I was watching this and I thought this was really good energy with how they were speaking to the team. Let's see. Let me get this down. There we go. All right, let's go. Let's hear from Colorado's defensive coordinator, Chris Marve.
It's simple. What is it?
Win.
Our mission is simple. What is it?
Win.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Anything else that's not in alignment with winning is not what we're about. Am I clear on that?
Yes, sir.
We got 4 objectives this fall camp. 1, identity fortification. How we play, not what we call. How we play, not what we call. Violence and aggression. Playing fast. Playing smart. Going to get it. Put it on tape. Because your tape is your resume. Everybody got me on that?
Yes, sir.
Second piece, making sure we identify our best 11,
Yes,
not our 11 best.
Yes, sir.
Our best 11, not our 11 best. What does that mean? I don't need the 11 best players on the field if you're not working together. We need a unit. A unit that's going to play how we play. Is everybody good on that?
Yes, sir.
Third piece, being elite. Elite communicators, elite confidence, elite care, and elite connection. Elite. Elite. Which means we cut on the tape, it ain't no question. Leave no doubt. Leave no doubt. If I got to think about you running to the ball, if we got to ask, are you straining, you ain't doing it.
Right.
Leave no doubt. And then the last thing, your all. That's all I need. Your all. Because your all doesn't even guarantee you the opportunity to win. It gives you the best chance. The best chance. So I need your all. And y'all know me long enough. I'm bringing that shit every day.
Good.
Violence, aggression. That's who we are. Am I clear on that?
Yes, sir.
We're good.
Yes.
Man, oh man, I watched that. I had to play it. I love Chris Marve's defensive coordinator, Chris Marve's energy, his passion, and his willingness to be the example that he wants to see. I don't know how you hear that as a football player and you don't feel like, hey, coach, I can go make a tackle. I can't make 10 tackles. I can't make 5. I can make 1. I can get an assist. I can help push a pile. I can do that. So I saw that. I said I had to play it. Shout out to CU. Y'all know how I feel about defensive coordinator Chris Marve and offensive coordinator Brennan Marion. I just really like their energy and what they bring to the table, an example that they are. I just hope these guys realize what is being poured into them and take advantage of it. Please take advantage of it. Please. We had a couple more people come in. 1006, Chi-Town here. What's going on, 1006? Butterfinger Jerry Judah strikes again. He should have caught that in the end zone. I don't know if he should have caught the one in the end zone. Grant Delpit made a great play on the ball. He ended up dropping it. But the one where it was a 50-50 ball, he definitely got to come down with that. I know that's not his forte, but look, man, you got to add new stuff to your toolbox. You have to. KC, what's going on? Morning D and chat fam. What's going on, KC? I have a question. If the quarterbacks can't get touched in practice, what are they looking for once the pass come on? Is it harder for them to play once the pass come on? It is harder. It is harder because the defensive line won't have freedom of movement. So right now, the defensive line, if you know it is a pass play, you can line up blitzers. You can send more guys. They got freedom of movement. You can't really knock guys off. You can't really latch on to the kind of the inside of their shoulder pads, which is, you can basically hold them right there as an offensive lineman. You can't do those things when you don't have on pads. So the offensive line play will change. The defense winning every single rep will change. They won't get to the quarterback as fast once they put pads on. And then also, how do the quarterbacks throw in pads? How do the quarterbacks see and navigate not being able to just look straight and see where everything is when guys don't have pads on. So they have more, they're able to easier see downfield when they don't have pads on. So it's just they are going from beginner mode to all-star difficulty if it was 2K. So that is the difference. It's not about if the quarterback gets hit. It's about changing the circumstances around what everybody is comfortable with right now. So y'all will see, hopefully, the offensive line is able to show more physicality, get hands on the defensive lineman, be able to identify the blitzes better, and then that's when it's real. That's when it's real. I believe the Browns in Colorado are going to have great seasons. I believe that also. I think they're running parallel. They got guys who are preaching similar messages. Their coaching is a lot better. They got guys who are bought in, guys who want to be there. So it is. I believe both of them are going to surprise people, and I've been saying that for a while now. Craig got you right. Black Pearl, yeah, it's harder for them to throw and move in pads. I agree. Yeah, I don't know how you listen to that and don't get pumped from Chris Marve. Coach Marve needs to be someone's head coach soon. It's a beautiful thing and it's an unfortunate thing. I believe in less than 2 years, the defensive coordinator, Chris Marve, and the offensive coordinator, Brendan Marion, will be head coaches somewhere. I believe in 2 years. I think they got a solid 2 years out of them, but I think they're gonna be going. They're gonna get their own opportunities again. Especially just think, Brendan Marion was offensive. He was a head coach at Sacramento State, so he's coming off of being a head coach. I was feeling his energy. I don't play football, but put me in, coach. For real. Coach, hey, I got an assisted tackle in me. I don't got no sack. I don't got no forced fumble. I got an assisted tackle for you. I got an assisted tackle. I can help you out. Let's see. I think the key thing you look for is consistency and sticking to the process. I agree with that. Harris Room Sports, what's going on? How you feeling, man? Glad to have you in here. We got you on the new 85-inch TV today. Okay, got me on the big screen. You should have let me know, man. You should have let me know. Make sure we right. Make sure we right out here. Make sure we right. What's going on, man? Definitely can't wait. Can't wait to lock in with you. Can't wait. I agree. I was speaking on the 50-50 ball. Okay, all right, got you, Craig. Yeah, we definitely on the same page. That 50-50 ball, that was his. He needed to have the approach that it was his. It was a little underthrown, but that doesn't take away from he still had an opportunity to make a play on the ball. Like, these people who think that every pass is going to be perfect, they don't watch football, man. Every pass is not perfect. It's definitely different situations that influence how a pass gets there, but that's why they call it a 50-50 ball. As Craig stated, you got a 50-50 chance. Make something happen. Make something happen. No problem, Black Pearl. Tessa, what's going on? How you feeling?
Well.
They're going to purge Coach Prime coaching staff again. I believe that. I think in 2 years, I think he got 2 years with this staff. Once they surprise people this year, people might come calling, but I think they're going to run it back. And in 2 years, man, these guys going to get opportunities. They're going to get opportunities for sure. Maurice Mason, what's going on? How you feeling? You don't just run your route. You must adjust to the ball. Judy thinks he only has to run the route and the ball should be there. Yeah, you got to make adjustments as a receiver. You got to make adjustments. That's just part of it. So, don't go up for 50-50 balls. Okay. Let Denzel Boston win those matchups. Let Casey Concepcion jump up and win those matchups. All right. All right. Hey, you don't have to do nothing, but don't think it ain't somebody else there who's wanting those reps and want that opportunity, and they're not going to take advantage of it. So, hey, do what you do. Do what you do. Did y'all see the wide receiver coach is not there anymore? I saw some stuff last night. I didn't get a good opportunity to really look into it. Speaking about Colorado, I did see some stuff as I was putting my stream together last night, but I didn't really get to look into it. Didn't really get to look into it. 50-50 to Judy is like 99-1 for the defense. That's a fact, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that is a fact too, man. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in, Maurice Mason. Good to see you. Good to have you here. If you play football, those speeches give you the jitters. For real, man. When I heard it, I was like, we got to run this real quick. And it was a couple more coaches that spoke that we could have used as motivation as well. So they just have the right group. They got the right group there. The right group. Derek Spinner, good morning, family. Let's get it. Hashtag New Cleveland. What's going on, Derek Spinner? I ain't seen you in a while, man. Glad to have you back. Glad to have you back. Looking forward to Michael Vick and Marshall Faulk improving their programs this year. That's a fact, Selma Fun. Marshall Faulk is actually installing the go-go offense at the school that he's coaching. So they got a bunch of running backs. They really want to get that ground game set and squared away. So that should tell you something. Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk does not believe the go-go offense is a gimmick, and he is installing that offense. I had it. Once I saw him speaking to somebody, I saved it on Instagram. I just never got around to kind of working it into a stream, but they're definitely doing that. So it's going to be better. So that lets you know it's not a gimmick. Probably just not aligned with where they want to go with the receivers. That could be true. Pitboy, what's going on? The pads are on today. I'm ready. You see the news on Bieniemy. Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. That's so unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. Praying for his wife and her recovery. The last I looked at it, she was recovering, but that's just very unfortunate. Allegedly, their son shot the mother. It's a very unfortunate situation, man. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. That's just like something you don't want to see people go through. I don't want to see my worst enemies, if I had one, go through something like that. Because you just it splits your world in half. You know, like your son and your wife. That's man, oh man. Man, just praying for his wife's recovery and his family at this time. I like CU's tight end coach. Me too. He was a high school coach, I think, from Alabama, in the Alabama area. But definitely his speech, I could have used his as well from here. Talking about the why and talking about the heart. So definitely had a bunch of opportunities to use those. The go-go is not a joke on offense, but since it was created by brother, people don't want to give it the credit it deserves. I agree with that. The go-go offense is a way for you to establish yourself on the run game and build explosives over top of it. I did a lot of research into Brennan Marion, and every season he has increased rushing yards and points per game. So it's one of the first things I was telling people. Is look at how Colorado's going to be able to run the ball. That's the first thing I tell people when they got OC Brendan Marion. Coach Niblett is for real. Yes, thank you for reminding me of his name, Pitboy. I appreciate you. Yeah, he is. He is serious. That's somebody else I could use motivation. So we had a bunch of people to pick from. All right, let's keep this thing pushing forward. We want to make sure we're ready. So we got an hour. We got a decent amount of topics we're going to cover. I'm going to give y'all a full stream. So let's get it going. First, we're going to start off here. We're going to start off with receipts, y'all. We got receipts to start. We're going to go to V8 Jared Verse.
Twice. We got Tampa and Jack.
Hold on. Let me pause this. I want y'all to hear. This is on Stephen A. Smith show. Let me go back slightly. I think my time that I want. Stephen A. Smith is going to ask the question. This is the question he's going to ask. Let's go.
Prove new coach, new offensive coordinator. Obviously, Lamar Jackson's coming back healthy. He's got something to prove. AFC North is considered to be hellacious. Your thoughts about the Cleveland Browns and how you're going to fare against competition within your own division?
Yeah, I mean, our division is loaded. I mean, we got dogs all across the board, just like you said. You got Cincy right around the corner, Steelers up there, and then you got Baltimore, who, I have a lot of respect from Lamar and everything like that. But like I said before, I'm going to make this very clear. This is not a rebuild year. We're not here to, just sit around and, try to tank for like a good pick next year. That's not happening. That's not something that we're doing. We're out here to win.
I'm going to pause them right here early on because I saw people floating out the idea of this some months ago, and I said that is a loser's mentality. And I was like, you cannot accept losing. And if you notice, one thing that this entire organization, from player to player, all the way up to the owner, they're saying we are not going in this thing to lose. This is not a season that we're trying to lose or tank for a quarterback. So if the guys on the field are saying that, if the head coach is saying that, the position coaches are saying that, if the ownership is saying that, you might as well eliminate that narrative of they're trying to lose. So they're not going to put the best 11 on the field. They're not going to work together. They're not going to try to get better, develop, and improve. That is not what this is. So if you were one of those people who were one of the losers who said, oh, you could just lose for a couple of years and then magically become a winner, this is where we want you to go.
Everybody stay on that side when they switched up. You switched up, stay on that side, man.
I want you to stay on the side of losing. I want you to stay on the side of losing, stay on the side of not getting better, stay on the side of tanking for the quarterback who's going to be the savior, even though you don't build up the rest of the team around him. Stay on that side. Don't switch up. Don't come on this side. Security going to be there. Ropes is out. It's no room, no extra space. We're not inviting you over here. Stay where you at. Stay where you at. What is going on? Keith Mathis. What's good? Off the Record family. Happy Monday. What's going on? Keith Mathis, welcome in.
45-47.
45-47. What's going on, Keith Mathis? Always glad to have you. Thank you for dropping in. We appreciate you. This is the best crop of athletes that are going to be running the go-go offense. That's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. All right, let's get back to VA. Let's go.
We're going to win. Those three are the three biggest ops. They're just little X's on the board. We got to mark them off. We're going to get them one by one. My first step is we got to go down to Florida twice. We got Tampa and Jacksonville. We're going to handle them, and then we're going to handle everybody else after that. But this is not a rebuild year. Our goal is to play in February. And I know everybody's like, oh, the Browns that. They haven't been able to do this. They haven't been able to do that. Yeah, we got new people. Quincy wasn't there. I wasn't there. A. Wright is taking them steps. Mike Hall. Carson just got out of his, D-Roy season. You got Shedeur getting better. Deshaun getting better. We got all these draft picks coming in. This is a new Cleveland Browns team, and I'm going to show everybody you're going to have to respect the team that you're going up against.
New Cleveland, you say? I'm picking up what you're putting down. I want y'all to listen to the players. Listen to the guys who are going on the field and how they speak. This is not the same old Browns. I've been saying it. People have been telling me, I've heard this before. I've heard that before. I've heard this. Okay. Okay. All right. Hey, we're going to see. I'm telling y'all, people are going to get sick of hearing the receipt sound for the people who said the Browns are going to win 2 games. The Browns are going to win 4 games. Neither Browns quarterback is going to win any games. Neither one of them going to be on the field in 2027. Okay. It's a new Cleveland. This is a new energy. This is a new team. They are building something special. I saw this early on. So now, if people want to get on the train, you better get on that train now. Get on the train now before the season starts. Get on the train now. I'm telling y'all. Get on the train. Y'all hear it. I'm just going to keep showing y'all and keep building out how this is not the same old Browns. This is not the same old Browns. I've been a Browns fan my entire life. I went through so much losing with the Browns. I know when they're just going out there and they're just trying to skate by and act as though they are trying to win, there are things that teams will do that will hide the fact that they are trying to tank. One of the things that they won't do is they won't sign vet players who are still good. Grant Delpit, Denzel Ward, they won't make those moves. I watched the Browns tear this thing down to studs when we went 1-31. across 2 seasons. I watched them let everybody walk. Everybody. They let everybody walk. Go look it up. So this is not that. And if you think it's that, unfortunately, you need to get your eyes checked. You need to get your eyes checked. You need to get them checked out. I love the mentality. Facts. This is how you go into situations. What's going on, Can-B? Glad to have you. That lets you know how they feel about their QB room. Facts. They have belief. They have belief. The losing narrative was a Cleveland media narrative, not the team. I never seen a local media so hell-bent on losing before the season even starts. I mean, the shortest way to put it is they're losers and they don't know how to win. I've been saying that for a while now. I'm like, they just got a loser's mentality. They don't know how to win. So people are just going to have to show them this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Love it. Yeah, his energy is crazy. I noticed that from his first press conference. 45-47. Sam. He said what he said. He said what he said. I know that's right, Jared. For real. Bars. Brown's going to be scary. Jared Verse, not joking around. He's ready. You see how serious his face is? He's not joking. He's not playing with Stephen A. Smith. This is not a joke. This is not a game. This is not a game, y'all. The Haslam and JW didn't see losing as an option this year. It really shouldn't have been. Losing should never be an option. I mean, losing will happen, but it should never be an option. Never. It should never be what you're looking forward to. Never be what you're looking forward to. Where we at? Haslam said take the over. Yep, we got that on the docket today. We got some dogs, that's a fact. Why is it that Stefanski as a coach is not giving more grief for his horrible coaching instead of pointing fingers at players only? Man, he has a better relationship with the media than he has with players, it seems. That's what I take from it. So they are defending him. Dang, 1-31, 2 years would have stressed me out. I'm telling you, it was rough. It was rough, and it is nothing. That is nothing to brag about. It was a rough time going through all that losing. A rough time. You was the butt of every joke, and you had no comeback. you had no comeback. You couldn't defend yourself. You just had to deal with what people said to you because your team wasn't winning. Your team wasn't winning. What's going on, Dr. Clyde Marshall? Chardonnay Clyde. I turned 69 on August 17th, 2026. Amen. A happy early birthday. You got about 14 days to go until your birthday. Happy early birthday to you. Make sure you enjoy yourself. Let's go. Let's go here. Happy early birthday to you. Make sure you enjoy it. We appreciate you being in the building. Want Browns to blow people out. We got the opportunity to. Ivy League Mac, what's going on? Hey, D and the family. Ivy League Mac, what's going on? Welcome in. Glad to have you.
We do not care.
When they talk about losing, we do not care. Oh, Craig. Browns media better be like ears and listen to what he said. For real. Man, oh man. Not ears. They give Stefanski a pass because he's their guy. Old Boy Network. That's a fact. Stefanski is built up by the media, not his resume. Facts on facts on facts. Bars on bars on bars. Bars on bars on bars. All right, let's keep this thing pushing forward. Let's get to Travis Hunter real quick. Hold on. I don't understand why people believe QB play will change with pads on because it won't. The only thing it will do will give a better look at the O-line and blocking schemes. It will get a better that will change the quarterback because they've been getting to the quarterback in under 2 seconds. So if the O-line can slow down the defensive lineman, that will give the quarterback more time to actually go through their reads without rushing. So it will have an impact on it. It's not going to make or break a quarterback, but it will have an impact on it. I remember the fourth day pass to DB from Shedeur. That's the same exact pass Shedeur threw to Judy in the Bears game. And of course, DB made it look easy. Big difference when you have talented receivers. Yeah, they got to go up and get the ball. You got to know who your 50-50 guys are. Once you identify that, you just say, hey, look, in those moments, I can't look your way, even if you one-on-one. Unfortunately, until I can trust that you're going to, protect me as a quarterback for giving you an opportunity on the 50-50 ball. All right, let's keep it pushing forward. We got Travis Hunter coming back from injury. He's feeling
So far.
He's feeling better. Two things we're doing this for. Of course, we want to update on Travis, but also I want y'all to hear the type of questions they're asking him and just kind of compare that to what we hear from the Cleveland microphones. Let's go.
What you mean, practice? Yeah. It's been great to be back. Yeah.
You missed 9 months, obviously, weren't on the practice field. Just kind of, what was that process like, working your way back and having to watch the whole offseason?
It was a learning process. You know, I was able to get in the playbook for the second year on both sides of the ball, learn it, understand it. Just not my job, but everyone else's job, so I can get comfortable, just go out there and play fast when I touch the grass.
We heard a lot about the virtual meeting room and how you were a guy that really took advantage of that. Could you kind of talk us through what that process was like and being in there and being able to see like a full lineup?
It's perfect for me. You know, I got first priority for that room because I'm playing both sides of the ball. So just going in there every day, learning new plays, like I said, just learning the process and knowing everybody's job, just not mine, is really helped me get on the field and just play fast. I know y'all one playing practice just now. I've had to come out, but they was running hurry up, so I just had to jump back in and just learn to play on the fly and continue to do what I was doing. So it had me more comfortable. I didn't panic. I was able to guard who I had to guard. So.
Coach made a comment the other day that you put on 10 pounds of muscle but feel lighter on your feet. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I put on 10 pounds. You know, I was a small guy coming in. Everybody like, gain weight. Coach is like, hey, play at whatever weight you happy at. So me just coming in and putting on them pounds and being like, I was scared at first. You know, I'm like, dang, I ain't never played this weight. I'm going to feel heavy. I'm not going to be able to do what I do. But training and being able to put those months in, not just on the grass, but in the weight room too, just putting in that work, it made me feel lighter on my feet when I finally touched the grass. So I'm just happy to be at this weight and continue to play at this weight. Yeah, a lot faster. Yeah.
22.6, I mean, what was the goal to be?
I didn't have no standard, you know, just going out there and running and see how fast I get. I'm like, dang, 21.5? Oh, yeah, I definitely got 22. And then it didn't even hit 22. It just went 22.6. So me hitting 22.6 was definitely had me like on the rise, and I'm ready. I'm trying to hit 23 now.
I'm going to say, that's the next goal?
Yeah, that's.
Man, oh, man. Glad to see Travis back. Glad to see Travis healthy. Glad to see him with a smile on his face coming back from injury. And then also him putting on muscle and getting faster. He got a goal of hitting 23 miles per hour running on the field, which would put him in insane company. So just glad to see Travis bouncing back. Glad to see that for him. Judy doesn't have strong grip strength. No, not at all. Not if guys can just snatch the ball from you. Now they can snatch the ball from you. Let's go, Big Trav. So glad you're good. Yes, he looks excited, happy, bigger, stronger, faster. So looking for a big season from Travis Hunter. No, that DB took that ball from Jerry Jeudy when they both hit the ground. Yeah, if he had, but like Pit Boy said, if he had better grip strength, the DB wouldn't have been able to take it. I hope Travis locked Jessica up. In my opinion, it's a waste of time and first team reps not naming who's QB1 now. If you're a true coach with eyes, you already know. I think he has a really good idea already. I think he's giving, to me, I think he's giving Deshaun the opportunity to see if he could turn it up and make it look different. When the offensive line has pads and they can slow down the pass rush a little bit and they can kind of go through it. But I think he want to announce it to the media, but it'll just happen. And it's going in the direction that I kind of seen it going. There's not comparison to how Cleveland media treats Shedeur compared to other players' media interactions. Personal Breakdown did a great video on this topic. I agree with that, but I think that you can still look at it in real time as they happen. You can look at it in real time as the questions are being asked to guys coming back, especially somebody being a number 2 overall pick. They traded draft capital for him. So good thing to look at. Shedeur already knows he can't trust Judas with that ball. Yeah, it's not looking the best. It's discussing how they handle him. You can see Shedeur's guarded with them by his body language. I agree with that. The ball hit him right in the sternum. That was the one in Chicago that he should have had. Yeah, that was crazy. All right, let's keep it moving. We got Boog. Boog is going to speak on Shedeur's mindset and also Travis's mindset. So let's go. All right, we doing good on time.
Got any updates on Shedeur?
Shout out to the Pregame Network. Shout out to Uncle Neely. Let's go. Shout out to Boog.
Shrav, how those guys doing, man?
Trav doing better than I've ever seen him in life, man. Just, the new man, the husband Trav, Papa Trav, like different guy, bro. And it's beautiful thing, like the level of peace that he's at, the work that he's putting back in, and like I say, he's been out the way, just head down, sticking to business. But now you about to see him pop back out again, and he gonna be Trav 2.0. Like he gonna be another version of himself. I call him Wolverine. He went in there, got stitched up and healed up real quick, and he back at it. Shedeur, man, I was with him for the last month. I ain't gonna lie, he killed me. Like I be trying to keep up, but bruh, the Shedeur, we've seen this time and time again. From me to you, Shedeur is in a different level that none of us has ever seen him at before. Like he's operating in a frequency that we've never seen before. Like to the point it's mind blowing. He's like, man, I've been around the kids since they were like 5th, 6th grade, bro. Like, so I know. So now it's not the fact, because again, he always was a hard worker. That was never in question. But the stuff that he's so meticulous and intentional about now is like he's surgical. Like he was always surgical with it, but he's surgical in life. And with the Boston right now, I'm not even worried about him at this point. Like when they say, "Oh, it's on them," I'm like, man, we good. If it's on him now, we good. He ain't never operated at the level he's operating at now. Like it's scary.
Man, cannot wait to see it. Boog gonna let you go after this one.
This is one of those things where even last year I was saying that people got wrong when it came to Shedeur. I was saying Shedeur didn't necessarily need a competition. Because I remember people were saying, "Oh, put him in a competition to get the best out of him," and I think those people are not self-starters. So if you're not a self-starter, you need to be in a situation to pull or grab the best out of you versus you wanting to be the best every single day when you show up. So for me, I see in Shedeur someone who wants to be the best every day. So competition or no competition, I believe he goes through the offseason the same way to get better because he wants to be the best. Competition is cool, but I think people misread that about Shedeur, and they misread it because they weren't sure if he really loved the game of football, and I don't know how they misread that either. But y'all are seeing the work. Y'all are seeing the work pay out. Y'all are seeing y'all are seeing it pan out right before our eyes. So it's just more confirmation for me that Shedeur is locked in, and once it comes to just football, people feel a different level of pressure they haven't felt before. Hey, people, they gotta feel it. They gotta see. Y'all will see. Y'all will see. D, you're right. Coach said you'll know by the amount of reps someone is given. Yep. I think it's just gonna slowly happen, and then people are gonna put 2 and 2 together without him making a big splash announcement. Live Gratefully. Good morning, Off the Record fan. Live Gratefully. What's going on? What's going on? Shedeur basically told the reporters the last press conference, "Y'all are messing up my vibe." I'm paraphrasing. Yes. He's like, man, I didn't even know that. One of the questions he really didn't want to answer, he ended up giving him an answer, but he didn't even want to answer it. I can see and feel that frequency in Shedeur. I followed him since he was a kid, watched him grow into the young man he is today. Locked in. They done messed around and created a monster. Did you hear what he told Bernie Kosar? I did. I wasn't sure if we was going to have enough time. I don't know if we have enough time to get to it today, but we'll probably get to it on Wednesday. But y'all know his relationship with Bernie Kosar is special. I believe Bernie Kosar is one of the few people in Cleveland who always was optimistic about Shedeur. He expressed that everywhere he was. He told people to have patience with him, and he also highlighted the things Shedeur was able to do. So I think he feels very comfortable with Bernie Kosar. They got a special relationship. Shedeur needs motivation. Narrative came from national and local media painting him as unfocused. I agree with that. You're correct. It's about to get dangerous. Shedeur is so locked in. It gets dangerous. Facts. I agree. Okay, all right. We make a good time because some of these other segments are kind of slow us down. So let's get to the next one. We got access denied. All right, we got Jimmy Haslam.
So really comfortable in his own skin. And you all know how.
Let me rewind this back a little bit. He's going to be speaking on the Todd Father. Y'all see I got the Todd Father tee on today. I just want y'all to hear how they're speaking. So when people just want to believe that, oh, we're going to tank, we're going to lose and all this stuff. Nah, that's not the approach that they're going with. I think it's about here. So let's play.
But that's probably the number one thing for me.
Jimmy or JW, was there anything during the interview process for the coaching search where when you spoke to Todd, he said something or did something that kind of you left that interaction thinking like this really might be our guy?
Well, let me say a couple things, and I should have said this on your question. He's also really comfortable in his own skin. And you all know how hard these jobs are and how long the season are, but I think Todd's comfortable in his own skin. And I don't want to share any trade secrets, but he was my favorite from the get-go. And we had some good coaches, and people drop out, and people don't turn out the way you thought. But he was my pick from the first, and everybody says he's never been a head coach and he's 60, but we had the choice of taking that or somebody's never been a head coach who's 32 or 33. So I like our odds. JW, you might want to say.
I'd just say, obviously we need to improve on offense, and he has a proven track record in that and developing quarterbacks and receivers, et cetera. And I think Jimmy said it, like his personality, his demeanor, his attitude, the way he's going to coach, he can talk to anybody. So he just stood out as the top candidate for us as we got through the process, and we're excited to have him here.
You just mentioned the young core, obviously Todd being a first year.
I think the age thing that people stick to so much when it comes to head coaches getting their opportunities. We saw a wave of younger coaches having success. I would say before Sean McVay, people don't realize how young Mike Tomlin was when he was hired as a head coach. So Mike Tomlin was a young head coach. Then you didn't see it as much, but you really saw it take off with Sean McVay, and then people start to look for people who had a certain path. So people who were quality control guys, then they went on to be like a position coach somewhere in the offensive room, then probably a pass game coordinator, then a you funny, Arjizzle. Then a offensive coordinator, and then they grab him as head coach. So you saw teams kind of just following what other teams did without fully knowing the recipe. But now we saw a third of the league need head coaches this offseason. So with so many people needing head coaches this offseason, somebody was going to have to say, you know what, even though the trend might be this, we're willing to go the opposite direction. We're willing to go with somebody a little bit older. And to me, he seems like the right person for the job. Like I've been hitting that to y'all. I've seen people say that, Coach Monken is a puppet, and I don't really understand that. I think a person who doesn't really have that much life experience would kind of say those things, because everybody knows as people get older, they're more locked into who they are. It usually, that's where the phrase, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, come from. Usually they're locked into who they are. And I know y'all know this. Y'all probably have a uncle or auntie, grandmother or grandfather who is who they are. They will say what's on their mind, and if it hurts somebody's feelings, oh well, they are who they are. When it comes to coaching and them saying 60 is probably too old for the first time head coach, when you get to 60, man, you kind of are who you are. You are who you are with how you speak, how you see certain things, how you say certain things, and everybody has somebody like this in their family that it doesn't really matter. This is how they view things. And I just think people need to look at that more. So I think they need to look at that more. They need to look at that more, that he is who he is. I don't think Todd Monken is playing a role. I think he just is who he is. He is who he is every day. The owner wanted him. He definitely was not my first pick. Arjizzle, I could definitely laugh at that now. I can laugh at that now. But he definitely wasn't my first pick. Y'all saw the turmoil I was going through live. And I think it was Selmo Fudd, Detroit Gemini, and somebody else talking me off a ledge. But yeah, it was rough at that time, but we got over it. We got over it. But I just wanted to share that about Todd Father. I got on the Todd Father tee today, as y'all can see. So shout out to y'all for copping the merch. Let's go. Let's listen to some more.
Coach, for you guys, a lot of changes this offseason. You talked about expectations a little bit, but when you think about where you guys are at as a team and some of the new stuff that's changed, what would you sort of define success looks like in 2026? Winning. Winning consistently.
I would say this, and we never do this, but I think the odds are for us to win 5.5 games. I'll take the over.
JW said, obviously, we got to get the quarterback situation figured out.
I'll take the over. Does this sound like a team who is intentionally trying to lose? I'll just ask y'all. Does this sound like a team who is intentionally trying to lose? Let me know. Let me know. Just let me know. What is going on, Shanithia? Hey, fam. Welcome to Monday. What's going on? Glad to have you here. Come to Off the Record D, where we going to read your super chats. Your voice is going to be heard. What is going on, Shanithia? What is going on? Glad to have you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let's see. Let's catch up on the chat as we go forward. I think I was about here. People wanted to paint Shedeur as an entitled dad's boy that didn't deserve the fame for the love he gets. I agree with that. That was one of the many negative narratives they came up with, wishing they could make something stick. I agree with that. Let's see. Both Sanders and I do not care what the mainstream media has to say. Hey, talk to him. Talk to him.
We do not care.
Sean McVay, Mike Tomlin, and other past young coaches had either called plays or were coordinators before getting head coaching jobs. I agree with that. They're making excuses for Mendoza already. He can't even beat out Kirk Cousins. Do y'all remember people accused me of hating when I said Fernando Mendoza didn't have to read defenses a lot? People accused me of hating on Fernando Mendoza. Man, before you say somebody is hating, if you don't know, ask a question. Just ask one follow-up question to see if this person is speaking from experience or this person has done any work or research in this area before you just call them a hater. I think it's the laziest thing you could do is just to say hater because you don't like what a person says. Say, I don't like what you're saying. I disagree with you, or ask questions if you want to know more. But he has to learn how to read the field. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's part of his development. But people wanted to say you a hater because you said he wasn't running a pro-style offense. Not running a pro-style offense supposedly sent Shedeur to the 5th round. Made him a number 1 overall pick. Okay. It's a copycat league, but that process won't work for every team. A successful older coach can win also. I agree with that. 60s. Hell, in your 40s. Hey, I'm already like that, man. I'm already like that where certain things, I just view them a certain way, and it is what it is. I'm flexible about different subjects, but certain subjects I'm not flexible about. I'm the exact same way your 70-year-old grandmother, or your 70-year-old grandfather is when they do certain things. Y'all know this. So, have you ever been around older people? Older people have a routine of how they go through their day. So if they wake up at this time, they get up at that time. If they watch this TV show or if they read this newspaper, if they drink this type of coffee, if they go to this store, they don't break that routine for other people. Other people got to work around that routine. Y'all can tell I've been around some older people. I'm already like that in my 40s. I'm already like that in my 40s. So I definitely get it. Once they pick the QB, the owners are going to need to be behind that person definitively. They're just always lackluster. I can tell someone is pouring into the store in that building. No doubt. No doubt. AB. Facts. I agree with that. CO7111. Yeah, had to get you off that ledge. I was on the edge. I'm willing to admit it. Craig. They needed an older coach to be a father-like figure for that young team. They definitely needed some tough love and somebody who wasn't looking to be their friend. And I think tough love is needed in the stage of development. It has to be crystal clear what the expectations are, and that's how you help people get there. Make it simple. Make it simple. I knew that was going to happen when I was calling him mid-dozer. People were getting mad. Yeah, they were getting mad. They were saying, "Oh, you're a hater. You this, you that." Okay, let it play out. Now, do you want to come back and apologize? The only people that want to lose is the Cleveland media. That's a fact. That's a fact. Did you see AB and Shedeur chopping it up after Saturday's practice in the middle of the field? Hey, it just lets you know. It just lets you know who's on the side. People need to start asking, why are certain QBs crowned from the start? Why do certain QBs get the benefit of the doubt? Why are interceptions ignored for some and not for others? Because if they start asking those questions, why Ivy League Mac, they're not going to get the answers they want, because people have a bias. People have bias, and it's okay. I'll tell you, hey, my bias. This is how I see this. I just let my bias be known. People hide their bias, and they aren't open to changing that. So it's like when I say Shedeur is polarizing. The people who hate Shedeur, it doesn't matter what he's gonna do. They still hate him. So people are locked to that one side, and they don't want context. I find it funny that now, magically, the Cleveland microphones can give all the context in the world when it comes to interceptions. They couldn't give no context last year. No context was needed last year. This person bad, this guy good. Now all the context in the world for everything that happens. I just find it funny. Things that make you go, You was raising people's pressures when you say that. Yeah, the mid-dozer. The mid-dozer, they was getting mad. Let's see. Where we at? Mendoza will not live up to a first pick. He needs some development. He was never going to beat Kirk, by the way. Yeah, I don't think so either. I was so looking forward to see Shedeur go up against Mendoza. I don't see it. He probably out there looking like Cal Mendoza, the team that they don't believe he played for. Fam, I remember when you made that take on Mendoza, and it had been said by some national folks too. Yeah, if you watch it, if you watch, he wasn't responsible for reading the field. I remember I said they were running RPOs, and basically he was reading one defender. He was not reading the whole field. And I was like, he was reading a safety or a linebacker on every play. And somebody was like, but is he reading it? I was like, it's an easy read that usually doesn't happen that much in the NFL. And people say, but he's reading it? Okay, whatever. Where are those people now when his head coach says that this is going to be the starter, or this is going to be the starter day one? Where are those people now? Because what happens is people push back. People push back with lack of understanding. And then when it's proven right, they never come back and say, hey, man, I was tripping. You was right about that. We got Jared Verse. I said, Dylan Gabriel going to have to give up that number 8. Other people in the comments agreed. Dylan Gabriel going to give up that number 8. Oh, man, y'all hating. Why y'all wouldn't say this about Shedeur? Dylan Gabriel gave up that number 8. The people who said that never came back and said, man, I took it the wrong way. I was tripping. We see Jared Verse in number 8. That's usually how, like nobody come back and say, hey, you was right about this. They just, you know what I'm saying, argue in the moment because they don't like what you're saying, even when it's proven to be correct. So, now he could be starting by that point. I think that's week 12. Why can some tell Boston's wide receiver 1 when the team is in shorts and helmets but need pass to see if 2 is a real QB1? I think they want to put a higher barrier for Shedeur to climb versus they will for other people. So that's why they're saying we got to see more. It's clear that Boston has been dominating. Casey Concepcion has been balling, but they just want to put a higher barrier for certain people. Just moving the goalposts as well. We called Mendoza sit-in year 1 before the draft, and people didn't like it. I didn't see that, unfortunately, but I know Coach Prime holds AB in high regard. Shedeur is stacking days and staying consistent and focused. I agree with that. I'm in my 50s. Our Jizzle, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't think he's trying to lose it all. Didn't he mention playoffs next year? He did. The mental gymnastics, oh, man, hold on. The mental gymnastics people do is exhausting. Yeah, that's why I just look at it and laugh. I was like that in my 30s. I started to be more firm in who I was in my 30s as well. Mendoza better treat those practices like he's going to be QB1. Kirk has a theme. He gasses out. I don't want to believe, but he did on cue for the Falcons. Yeah, once his injuries creep up, it's nothing you can do. Go back and watch the Duke the Scoops interview with Coach Prime Saturday. He dropped a lot of jewels in that. That will give context to a lot of things. When we were providing context, they said it was excuses. That is a fact, Casey. I'm looking forward to Shedeur, Cook, and Jackson Dart. Plus our defense for Jackson Dart, especially if we could throw. Jackson Dart struggled last year going against zone coverage. So hopefully we have some of that when we play the Giants. I knew when they signed Kirk, they didn't think Mendoza was ready to go. Facts. Do y'all see that now Dylan is doing well against the third defense? They want him to get praise, but last year when Shedeur lightened up the third defense, they said it didn't count. That's a fact. Trust me, Mendoza isn't better than Aiden Okado. You've been saying that for a minute, Arjizzle. For a minute. All right, let's see. All right, we got about 24 minutes before they come, so let's go. Let's go here. Let's get to the conversation about interceptions. Last year, interceptions for Dylan Gabriel were also given context. Interceptions for Shedeur shouldn't happen. No context. Shedeur struggled versus the Rams. No context. He's just bad. Now, people suddenly are looking for context. I'm like, now y'all want context? But okay. All right, here we go. We got head coach Todd Monken, the Todd Father. People are misinterpreting this quote. They are misinterpreting this quote, and they are not letting the full quote live. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let the entire answer play, and then we're going to highlight where people are missing what he says. This week it is, we need to see him in pass. Next week will be we need to see him in preseason. Once season starts, will be we need to see him against a good team. It will never end. Talk to him. Talk to him, Shanithia. The Browns knew last month who QB1 was. They're waiting to drop it. I agree with that. Let me grab some water and let's listen to the Todd Father.
Communicate to them like when those opportunities present themselves, and how do you kind of evaluate them as you go through this whole process, knowing like sometimes they were just trying something, sometimes it's not. You don't want interceptions ever, but how do you kind of balance that?
Right, it's a combination of all that. It's a great question, by the way, because it's now is the time to push the envelope in a lot of ways to see where they're at. Certainly don't want the interceptions, and too many of them are beyond a teaching tool, right? Like at some point you're like, okay, I'm beyond being taught here. Okay, stop throwing the ball to the other freaking side. All right.
So for some reason, people did not listen until he got to that point. They just heard interceptions are a teaching tool, and they stopped. They stopped right there because it's not the person they expected to be throwing the interceptions. What did he follow that up with? At some point, it's not a teaching tool when it's too many, and you're just like, stop throwing it to the other team. Let's run it back. I want people to hear this. This is very clear. If you want understanding, he's not missing his word. Let's run it back.
It's a combination of all that. It's a great question, by the way, because it's now is the time to push the envelope in a lot of ways to see where they're at. Certainly don't want the interceptions, and too many of them are beyond a teaching tool, right? Like at some point you're like, okay, I'm beyond being taught here. Okay, stop throwing the ball to the other freaking side. All right, but it is part of the process of just working through it, and interceptions are part of the game, unfortunately. But again, did you learn from that? Now we'll find out as we keep moving on, right? That we're not. Are we making the same mistakes? Are we learning from that and moving on? Because we're never too old to learn. I get a kick when people say, well, you're this far along. Hell, I'm 60. I'm not done learning. That never ends of learning and getting better.
Chris got one here.
Todd, coming kind of off of that,
Arjiz will take me out every time with that. Cottonmouth early. Yeah, man, the combination of coffee and talking a lot just doesn't match. So I gotta keep getting my water. Arjiz will take me out. But y'all hear it. I let the full thing play this time. People are misinterpreting what he said. People are adding context. Now, some of these interceptions could be avoided. Like he was explaining earlier where when he threw the interception to the Joker, Quincy Williams, he said in the classroom, we said don't throw the ball here because there's not enough space. It's not going to work for you. Then when they got out there and played, that's where Deshaun went with the ball. It got intercepted. So then you can trust that what we're telling you in the classroom is true, so you don't have to go make that mistake again. And that's where you give them grace because it's early. But at some point, they got to stop. They can't keep happening because with more reps, more time, more seeing what the defense is doing, you have to be able to identify it. And that's the point that people that's the point that people just don't want to acknowledge. That's what they don't want to acknowledge. The Todd Father is letting performance and practice of upcoming preseason games dictate the starter rather than forcing anyone into a rigid pre-written scheme. I love the fact that they are flexible. It's some stuff that's like kind of super in the weeds that I've heard him say that I'm so hype about. Like he talked about they were working on zone schemes early, which I'm excited to have those zone schemes as part of the run game. Then he's like, when we get the pads on, then we'll be able to install some of the power and the gap schemes, which I'm excited for. So I'm excited for what we're going to do in the run game. But it's going to play out. I just think that it's probably playing out in a way that people didn't anticipate. And I think that's where they're looking for context. Because they got to be able to explain this through. If you said Shedeur wasn't good enough to be on the team, or if you said get rid of Shedeur before the year started, or you said Shedeur couldn't be this, it couldn't be that, and you were wanting the Browns to move on for Shedeur, what do you do now when Shedeur clearly looks better? And he just keeps stacking days of looking better. What do you do now? So, we're going to see. Yeah, that's right. Wrong person throwing an interception in their minds. Someone who was at training camp said one of the coaches put Jerry Jeudy to the sideline and had him watching film. Yes, you know who that is. I meant to have his. I meant to react to him going to practice. His name is Smoke the Difference. I wanted to have it on the stream, but we kind of we got too much. I didn't think we was gonna get to hear from Deshaun and Shedeur and all that stuff and Jimmy Haslam. So I didn't get to react to it. Shout out to Black Pearl for sending it to me. But he did say that. That was I think his YouTube name is Smoke the Difference, and he was at training camp practice. So shout out to you for reminding me of that. Let's get to Deshaun. Let's hear from Deshaun.
It's been decent, just working on the different situations that we go through each and every day. So just trying to master that as long as, learning the new system. Of course, we had all spring, about 10 weeks to kind of learn the system. But, once you get into training camp, it's a lot of different changes and things like that he kind of throws in. So it's been well, just trying to stack each and every day. You can't win all the days at once. So you just got to take one day at a time and, correct the mistakes that you make and build from there.
Deshaun, the other day, Coach.
Okay, so I remember I was explaining the difference of how this is not the type of offense that Deshaun has ran before. And even Deshaun is saying that these are new things that he has to learn. I think there is one portion of the offense that Deshaun has experience with, and that's the quarterback making a lot of checks at the line of scrimmage. I think it is him making a lot of checks at the line of scrimmage. That is probably something, or not probably, that is something he had experience with in, what's his name? Bill O'Brien. Yeah, Bill O'Brien. Shout out to Zedrick for reminding me the other day. In Bill O'Brien's offense. So that is something that's similar to what they're being asked of now. That doesn't mean the same route trees or route patterns or how they put it together. That doesn't mean any of that stuff. That is more to do with what your responsibilities are at the line of scrimmage. That is what they were speaking about. That's what they're speaking about. So even when they try to cling on to these things and say this is similar, if it was similar, the learning process would be different. Because he would just say, oh, I did this, boom. Now it's called this. I know exactly what it is. So people got to listen to understand versus to listen to confirm what their narrative is. Watson is QB1, gets the team to tank for a new QB pick that pushes both Washington Sanders out and potentially bury two who they'll blame for a weak offense. I agree with that. Shout out to you, MDK216. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, that was who I remember said it to me. So shout out to Black Pearl for that. JW wants Deshaun to be QB1 so bad, and he's really trying to push him on the fans. Yeah, well, I mean, they said that Coach Monken said it's going to be determined. Coach Monken said it's going to be determined by who performs on the field. So we're going to wait and see. Deshaun wears his hat just how they like it. Yeah, that would be an uncomfortable way to wear a hat for me. You know, I don't know. I can't wear mine like that. JW Haslam did say something like another franchise may be looking for a QB and they can't trade Deshaun. They can't trade Deshaun. I bet my police salary that if you change Shedeur Sanders to Jason Williams, the QB narrative won't be totally different. Not from the Cleveland media. It's going to be the same. I don't know why it's not like he has played well in Cleveland. The last time he played well was in Houston. Shaking my head. That's true. That is a nice hat, Watson. That's what everyone said. He was never good at Cleveland. This is not to bash Deshaun Watson. He had some good moments in Cleveland. He had some good moments. I will say that. He has some good moments in Cleveland. Good moments. But sustained success in Cleveland, it just hasn't been there. Shedeur told these microphones last year, a lot of people want to see me fail. It's not going to happen. They can forget to take a narrative. Yeah, and the team is bought in to not take it. So that just doesn't match. That's the problem with so many people. They don't listen to understand. They listen to respond. I totally agree with you. Totally agree. Let's hear a little bit more from Deshaun before we get to Shedeur, and then we get to the live press conferences.
Coach Monken was talking about cadence. Says he wants to have at least 10 in a given game, 10 different cadences. Is that a lot? Have you been through your days where you had to know that many cadences for a game?
Yeah, actually, when I first got into the league, that was very heavy in Bill O'Brien's system. You know, that was from the Patriots, Tom Brady tree. So everything was required for the quarterback to make the reads, the points, the cadences, and just make sure that everyone was on the same page. So it's definitely something that I'm familiar with.
Physically.
Now, that is the part that is similar. You can't take that away from Deshaun. The responsibility on the quarterback is similar. People wanted to take that as the entire scheme and system, and that's not it. The responsibility of what the quarterback does is similar. So listen to understand, and you will hear, he just explained it to you, where the similarities come from, not the actual scheme. What they require of the quarterback at the line of scrimmage, flipping the play, flipping protection, changing the play. That is what they're responsible for. That is totally different than what Kevin Stefanski did. Kevin Stefanski wasn't known as a play caller who would put a lot on the quarterback to change and give a lot of freedom to. He was not known for that. Does anyone think the plan is to try to shop Deshaun? I don't think you shop Deshaun. I think it'll be too much salary to eat just to send him somewhere else. I think they let the year play out with the QB room how it is. That's what I think. I'm willing to be wrong because these aren't my decisions to make, but that's what I think would happen. That's how I would do it. People forget when Watson is healthy, he is in the top 15 of QBs. I agree with that, Selmo Fudd. I just think it's been a long time since we've been able to see him healthy. Because if you go back, the last time he played was in 2024 where he got injured. He got injured in 2023. In 2020, 2022, he was suspended. He also missed. Then he sit out 2021. So that's how you get back to 2020. Football changes rapidly. Even if you look at how the defensive schemes were in 2020 versus how the defensive schemes are now, they disguise things differently. They use guys differently. Player types and body types have changed dramatically from 2020 to now. So in 2020, we still have big linebackers who are responsible for stopping the run. Linebackers are a lot smaller and a lot faster now. Teams disguise things differently than they did back then. So it's just football changes a lot over the course of 5 to 6 years, and 3 years is a big difference. Look at how 3 years ago when Baltimore was doing a lot with the disguising, how now you can go look around and it was just like Baltimore and like 2 other teams. Now a third of the league is good at disguising what they run. So the defenses change, player body types change, what you're looking for out of quarterbacks to running backs to everything changes, and it's just a wave of things that change. Didn't he also get injured with the Texans? I think it was his second year he got injured with the Texans. I think it was. I don't think it wasn't his last year. I think it was his second year. He did get injured with the Texans. It was ACL. I think it was the second year. I'm willing to be wrong on what season it was, but I believe from my memory it was his second year, but I could be wrong on the year. Okay, I'm back. What did I miss? I had to stop the chat from beating up the dog. Oh, the cat from beating up the dog. Tabby cat versus pit bull. Man, why cats always be bullying the dogs? That's crazy. Let's see. Quite a bit. I'll sum it up for you. You missed us speaking on the Browns are not willing to lose, and we highlighted that with hearing from a bunch of different people. All right, we still got to get to Shedeur. All right. The Browns, like their QB room, they're going to be mad after this season when they get behind Shedeur after this season. I agree. In a perfect world, 2 starts the season 4-1, gets hurt 4-2, gains Deshaun plays lights out for 2 weeks, and they trade him. But I know that's a pipe dream. Yeah, that's definitely a pipe dream. MDK, I don't want to see nobody get hurt. Football fans, we can't keep calling someone a top anything when they haven't played in 2 years. That version of a player is long gone and may never return. It's up in the air if it returns. I believe Deshaun's shoulder, I don't believe it's still hurt, but I believe he probably needs to slightly alter how he throws the ball to get it where he wants it to go consistently. We were talking about this in Patreon. Cam Newton was a similar thing. When you just have so much arm talent and then you have an arm injury, you got to alter that to be able to keep playing at a high level. Drew Brees explained how he had to change how he throws the ball because of his shoulder. So it's just one of those things to look at. All right, let's get to some Shedeur before we get to the live press conferences.
What's going on? How's everybody doing? Good day today.
Shedeur, can you put into words just how much more comfortable kind of within yourself you feel entering year 2 compared to maybe this time last year?
Yeah, I would say I pretty much figured myself out, figured out my routine, learned about myself way more, and I'm overall happy with the process.
Shedeur, you talked a couple weeks ago at your camp about, being down in Miami with Deshaun and some of the guys. How much have you guys been able to kind of carry over what you guys worked on down there, out over these first few days?
Yeah. Any rep at any point in time is extremely important. Even the guys that weren't able to make it, we talk about different things in the building, and we work it, after practice some things. So every rep that we able to get with our guys truly makes a difference and truly builds that trust and connection.
How do you assess the way your camp is going there after 3 days?
I'll just take a day at a time. Like, just focus on things I gotta get better at. Focus on the things I gotta be more crisp at, and understand the flaws that I have and keep improving that.
How exciting was it to have Pop here the other day?
How exciting was it?
Yeah.
It was good. Like, I'm overall focused every day by like the practice. So the outside, nothing else really matters. Like, whenever I'm on the field and that. But it's whenever I'm off the field, of course. Like, I'm excited that I see my dad. I ain't seen him in, like, I don't know, since the summer maybe. But yeah, nothing matters when you between the lines.
I know things will intensify when pads come on, but how much work have you seen the defense giving you guys and the entire offense?
Yeah. We get great looks every day, and that's what I'm excited about going into the season, reviewing all the film from last year and mistakes I made, and just being able to recognize, have a better pre-snap, be able to recognize things better, and post-snap also. So the fact that our defense gives us a lot of different looks and everything is truly great, that we're able to get that in practice.
All right, I'm going to pause this. I remember Shanithia asked me, what should Shedeur work on? And this was a while ago. I'm probably going to find it from Wednesday because we're going to look into that a little bit more. But I was saying he needs to work on using the running back to attack the defense when they are in zone coverage, just getting it wide. Excuse me. He needs to work on identifying when a team is disguising zones and potentially where they could be dropping out to be responsible for, so he can attack those zones better. Also, I can't think of my third one. I know those two were definitely on there. It goes to something that Shedeur just said. If we look back last year, I believe Shedeur had one of the higher completion percentages against man-to-man coverage. And some just think like, oh, well, it's man-to-man. You can tell it is what it is. But what were the Browns known for last year? The Browns were known for lining up in pressure moments, man-to-man, we are better than you. So that's what he got better at. The Browns did not disguise a lot, and Rudy is adding that level of deception to what they're doing as a defense, and I believe this is only going to make him better moving forward. So if you see a whole season or whatever of man-to-man coverage and you can produce against it, now you see what the tendencies and keys are when disguising. They're in practice. I believe he's going to be able to get better at seeing it so he can perform better. I'll probably do a comment creeping on that. I got to find the time when Shanithia asked me that and then find my responses and then pair it up with this. But that's going to be something we probably get to later in the week, depending on how the week goes. But we're getting close to the question that I really wanted to go over with Shedeur. So let's go.
Just the responsibilities in Todd Monken's offense. You adjusted to all that new information you've had to absorb and implement this offseason, and how do you think you're coming along out on the practice field when you guys are going through these installs?
Yeah, so of course it's going to be good days, bad days. You know, we always strive to have our best days every day, but you know, I play better and I feel better whenever I have all the information and, you know, I know exactly what's going on at all times. So that's why I just spend every minute, every hour of my time really focused on being the best quarterback I could be and being the best leader for this team I could be. And that obviously translates, because the more information I know, then the more comfortable I am as a person.
That was a key answer right there. I feel more comfortable when I have all the information. So all the information would be you actually knowing what the purpose of what we're doing. You having a head coach that actually can say your name and speak to you. So that was key right there. Shout out to Felix D. They just reported that Jason Phillip is gone because of a family matter, nothing else. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that follow-up because I didn't look into it. But I know that's kind of how people report part of the story without the meaning, and usually they lean negative when they report stuff like that. So shout out to you, Felix. I appreciate it. Cleveland media needs a Lynn Jones-Turpin desperately. I love her. Yeah, the opportunity is there for somebody to go in and be that positive light. We get some positivity from Cam Justice, and we also get good questions from Cam Justice. Daniel Oyefusi has he's shooting like 80% from the field with good questions. 20% he can kind of play around sometimes, but I think those are go-tos for football related and positive based questions that we're gonna get. Let's play a little bit more.
Todd Monken talked the other day about cadences and how it can have up to 10 different cadences in a game. How does that compare to last year when you were in the team and even going back to Colorado? Did you have that many different?
Colorado, I can't even think. I don't even go down memory lane no more with Colorado anymore. I see a couple highlights a little there sometimes, but I'm so locked in on this year that I don't think about the years in the prior or live in the past, because that don't benefit or help me get to my goal or the team get to our goal as a team. So it's like nothing matters to me if it is not helping us win, if it's not doing anything. It just don't make sense.
Let me put it this way. Perfecting all of his different cadences, how much of a challenge is that?
I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't say anything's a challenge. It's just about sacrifices. What are you willing to sacrifice to be able to intake, to have the mental capacity to do that? You can't stretch yourself thin.
Shedeur, we look at
Tony Grossi was fishing for something there, and he was trying to put that Shedeur was struggling at something coming from head coach Monken, and Shedeur wasn't going for it. Just the way he worded it. What is challenging about him adding more cadences? Because this is different than what was done last year. They know it was different already because they know this is not something that was highlighted by Kevin Stefanski, so they know it's different. So he was trying to spin it. It didn't work. Correct me if I'm wrong. However, wasn't Deshaun the Cleveland media's whipping boy 6 months ago? Weren't they trying to run him out of town? Didn't want to see his face. 6 months ago, they were running him out of town. Said he shouldn't be here. 2 years ago, they were saying he should be gone. 3 years ago, they were okay with him. So, yes. 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 And now they are okay with him. Tony Wood asked that question because that was the narrative last season. I agree with that, Black Pearl.
every practice, kind of like as a race between you and Deshaun, and we're judging who's ahead, who's behind. I assume, do you do that? And if you don't do it that way, how do you log that competition up?
We just gotta get the next question. I answered this question 1,000 times. We focus on ourselves and what we do and what we need to do to get better each and every day. So that's just something y'all think about and y'all care about, you know.
Shedeur did answer that question previously. He said it's not in my control, so I just got to focus on being the best version of me. If you were ever in a tense situation, anything competitive, anything high pressure, you cannot add additional layers that will slow you down and slow down your process. And he's explained it already. Other people have tried to explain it. If you get caught up in what Deshaun did, you are taking energy away from what you were focusing on. And that's the simplest way I can put it. But for whatever reason, they keep missing that. They keep missing that. High pressure situations, you have to focus on what you can control and what your responsibilities are, not focus on looking left or right. Somebody gave the example of if you are in a race, you're not racing against other people, you're racing against yourself. You're not running the whole race looking back, looking back, looking back. That's not what you would do. That will only slow you down. You're just running your race. So for some reason, it's hard for them to get that, but they got to get it. They got to get it. They have to. All right, so we're going to look and see if they are live. Let's check this out. We're going to check and see if they are live right now and see who we got speaking today. We're going to see who we got speaking today and see if they're live. So let me close out some of these tabs so we can keep things moving smoothly. And then also, if anybody wants to manage an OffTheRecordDee fantasy football league, let me know. It's too much to add to my plate with what I'm trying to offer y'all this season. But if anybody wants to manage a Off the Record D fantasy league that we can put together, let me know. I know Toolman is interested. I would have some interest. I believe Zedric will be interested in as well. So if anybody wants to manage a league, let me know. It's just I can't stretch myself thin and add an additional thing like that. So let me look and see if the Browns are live. They don't listen. They don't listen. All right, Browns are not live yet. They're not live yet. Harrisville Sports says, I know nothing about fantasy, but I'll join the league. Yeah, if somebody is willing to manage it, then let me know. You just got the notification. All right, let me refresh and see if they're live. All right, they're live.
Prepared you for this stuff.
Oh, shout out to them. We got Denzel Boston. We hear from Denzel Boston today. This is good. I don't believe we're that far back. So let's get it going. Some of these Cleveland media folk need to retire. Casey, you want to hear something? I believe that they probably were close to retiring if they wouldn't have got all of this publicity and notoriety and fame that they weren't getting previously. So now they're gonna stay. Now they definitely gonna stay. All right, we're gonna hear from Denzel Boston first. I don't think we're that far behind, but here we go.
If you're able to do that, you kind of can just play fluid, play free, and just go out there, have fun.
I know you caught passes from all the quarterbacks, but it feels like you and Shedeur have had some connections early in this camp. Where do you think, I guess, that connection, that chemistry comes from?
I think that just comes in trust. I believe I got trust with all the quarterbacks. We've been connecting along a lot of different plays. But, yeah, I think it just comes down to trust, and that's about it.
How do you think playing high-level college football has prepared you for this stuff?
I would say, especially with the Big Ten, there's a lot of ex-NFL defensive coordinators over there. So being able to see those different type of defenses and all that type of stuff has prepared me, and I think also the physical part of the game as well.
Denzel, it seems like so many of the highlight plays we've seen you make are some of those 50-50 balls. Just what's your confidence like in those situations, especially just your ability to use your height and everything?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to a mentality of, that's my ball. I think that's what it comes down to. I do have that height advantage that I can abuse when I can, but at the same time, I think it comes down to a mentality of I'm going to go get it.
For a bigger guy, we were talking to Christian Jones about your ability to separate and break down and how, that's rare for a guy your size. And I think we've seen plenty of examples of that. How have you been able to, I guess, grow that part of the game, and how much of a focus is that for you?
Yeah, in the off season, that was a big focus. Just working on footwork, working on getting in and out of my breaks and all that type of stuff. And also just with having the coaching from Coach CJ, Coach Monken. I got Judy in front of me right now and stuff like that. So being able to learn from him and also take the coaching from my coaches, I think that's what's helped me the most elevate my game.
Are you looking forward to being in pads finally?
Oh yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Now we can get nitty and gritty. The trench is about to get wild, and finally we can actually block and stuff like that. So it's gonna be fun.
I'll go back to Judy for a second. What specifically, kind of advice has he given you, especially during this part of camp as going back to OTAs?
Yeah, it's more just subtle reminders of things, just certain routes, hinge routes. When we're doing out cuts, in cuts, just making sure we're not giving away. What would you say? Hints, I guess you could say, not giving away hints of where you're gonna go, as in leaning before you're about to break into the route.
Maybe it's related to that. But when you're running a comeback, I saw you catch a comeback against Tyson the other day. What's the key there for you to, I guess, sell him on it's not going to be a comeback and then be able to create that gap?
Right, yeah, you got to push him vertical. You got to get him to flip his hips and run with you. And at that point, once you get to the break point, you got to make sure you get that body turn. You got to make sure you get that foot almost parallel to the line that you would be stopping at and just come back downhill.
What's been the toughest part of camp for you so far?
The toughest part of camp? The meetings. Sitting in the meetings all day, you get a little drowsy and stuff. So I say that's probably been the toughest part. Out there on the field, that's just fun.
Nothing's set in stone. They're mixing and matching. But how do you feel like the skill sets of the receiver room and even the tight ends sort of mesh together?
I think honestly, I think we mesh very well together. You know, we have the quick, fast, twitchy guys. We got tall guys that go make plays above the rim. And then, you know, I think we're just meshing very well, and I think that, you know, we're able to make plays across the board.
What time do the meetings start? What time do they end?
Meetings start at, well, lift. So sometimes we have a 7 o'clock lift, and then meetings will start at 8. And then that first session will end at about 11, and then we'll go into practice, and then after practice, we'll have another about 3-hour, 4-hour blocking meetings.
Is it just your natural ability, or did you work throughout your career to just be able to catch passes?
It's definitely something that I work on every single day, but also I have always been a natural catcher. Honestly, it probably comes from when I was in the backyard with my dad. He's always just had me catch the ball and stuff like that with my brothers and all that type of stuff. I got 3 older brothers, so, you know, we're always playing football with each other, catching the ball. And I think it also helps when I played basketball when I was younger, you know, being able to high point the ball off the rim. And then I played baseball as well, you know, tracking different balls. Yeah, I was a center fielder.
Wait, are you saying that your meetings, and I think you said include the walks, are 3 hours?
Yes.
You do that
Yes,
twice
sir.
a day?
Yes.
I mean, is that kind of like guys when they're rookies talk about this, the change from college to football and getting the luxury of only focusing on football, but is it still kind of like a culture?
Definitely got to store that one for later, Zedric. For sure. I haven't really heard about Bond. Yeah, I'm surprised. Bond, he had the one sideline kind of interview with Nathan Zagura, but I haven't seen anything yet. But he is definitely media trained, well spoken. Some of these questions, not knowing how long the meetings are. Did you work on catching? What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Also, good morning, D and Off the Record fam. Happy Monday, Marie. What is going on? I got to get some water. What's going on?
Everybody stay on that side when they switched up. You switched up, stay on that side, man.
A little out of my ear. Welcome in, Marie. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. All right, let's get back to Denzel Boston.
Culture shock, like you don't have classes anymore, but you have all these meetings and stuff to get ready for.
I mean, at Washington, we had about the same kind of schedule. That's what Fish tries to do over there is kind of just mimic NFL schedules. So that's kind of what we were doing over there, just we also had class on top of it. For me, it's great. Like, I don't got no class, so nothing really changed for me.
You know, Coach Jones said...
Yeah, this is happening. This is happening live, Marie.
I wouldn't make it through the first hour.
Coach Jones, I think, said at minicamp that you had an edge to you because you thought you should have been a first-round pick.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that still on your shoulder there?
That will forever be on my shoulder the rest of my life. Like, that's going to forever be a driving factor of the reason I do what I do. You know, it's just one of those things that you don't forget, and, like, it's always just going to be there.
What do you think happened on draft day?
I don't know. You know, I'm not a decision maker, wasn't in the room, but whatever it was, you know, for me, it's more about, you know, just proving myself.
No problem, Marie. These questions are ridiculous.
Particularly for the running game they want to implement. How excited are you to sort of show off that part of your game and be a big-time element?
Yeah, you know, I think that is a big part of my game, you know, being able to go in there and just prove to them that, and prove to myself that, you know, I can go compete at the highest level, because it comes with everything. You know, you can run routes and you can catch the ball, but you still got to block, you know. The rock's not going to come unless you block. So I think, you know, I'm going to have a good time, go out there, have fun, and go try my best.
It looks like you haven't had really any struggles since you got here in the offseason program.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like you have had any, and did you have any doubts about how this transition was going to go for you?
No, I don't have any doubts, just because I come into everything I do very confident. I try to just be confident in everything I do. There's definitely been highs and lows, you know. Some practices are better than others. Some days you make highlight plays, some days you make the routine plays, and when you make a lot of highlight plays, those routine plays feel like that, you know, like that's just normal. So, you know, it's all been valleys. That's how I go. Football's valleys, but yeah. Sorry, what was the end of the question?
Just when you showed up, did you have any doubts that
it would
be
be
a struggle for you?
Yeah, no doubts.
No doubts.
Are you on any other special teams?
Yeah, I'm with the kick returners for kickoff return, punt returner on punt return, gunner for punt, and that's about it right now. I'm working a little bit front line on punt block too.
Something new for you, right?
Gunner? No, I played gunner in college as well. Yeah.
During the draft process and certainly getting to know these guys, that UC Davis punt return come up quite a bit for you?
I can't believe that they didn't read like the draft profile on these players. They don't know what they did in college. They like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. It's oh my goodness. Come on, man. I'm glad the draft worked out the way it did more and more. I would have been happy if it just was KC too. Yeah, the draft worked out. It worked out great. Great for what we needed. What's up with the negative question? Oh yeah, that's Cleveland media for you, for real. These questions, like, man, oh man.
A little bit. I mean, I just gotta remind. They'd be like, "Why are you back here?" I'm like, "Watch the film. I took one back to the house." You know what I mean? So you can say what you want, but I did that. So.
Have you set your goals for the season?
Have I set my goals? I haven't, not yet.
Do you know like what your expectations are for rookie year?
I'm not gonna put any expectations or external pressures on myself. You know, I think the biggest thing is going out there, doing my job, being able to play free, and just make the most of my opportunities that I get.
Denzel, did you have a favorite NFL receiver when you were going through your
Julio. Oh wait, through like college and stuff, yeah. I had like a good little trio. So I had Mike Evans, of course, had Nico Collins, and then I'd watch a lot of Randy Moss and his type of stuff. Like I'd watch every Thursday before the games. I'd make sure I turn on some of their clips and just kind of get an idea of what I want to do that weekend.
Good guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Man, shout out to Denzel Boston. Shout out to him handling their questions. This took a turn because they don't really know him, so they didn't really know what questions to ask of him. Yeah, you caught that. Nico is one of the people he watches. But he talks about his confidence. He talked about how he's ready. So, they asked, "Oh, would you lose the hunger from not being drafted in the first round?" And just a you funny, Arjizzle. It just doesn't. I don't understand the line of questioning, what they're trying to get to when they ask him questions. He definitely won't be on special teams long, not as a gunner. He'll be on special teams maybe as a punt returner, but not as a gunner. Just not knowing what to ask, so let me ask the questions. That's what they're doing. I wish these athletes would ask the Cleveland microphones if they were losers in high school, because the questions they are what people with no confidence will ask. Talk to them. MDK216, talk to them. When it comes to having confidence and belief, they don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to deal with it. He hasn't dropped anything yet. He should have been first round probably. I agree. I thought that's who the Browns were going to target at 24, to be honest with you. I didn't think Casey Concepcion was going to be there. I really thought Casey Concepcion was going to go to the Rams, and I thought we would go for Denzel Boston. I didn't expect the Rams to take Ty Simpson. So I thought Casey Concepcion was going there. I thought Denzel Boston was going to be our target with our second first round pick, but it worked out really well for us. But just this line of question is just like, what are we doing here, people? What are we doing? What are we doing? We make sure I refresh on the Browns page for when the next person goes live, but it's just, I don't get it. People compare him to Larry Fitzgerald and KC, to Antonio Brown. People compare who they want. I am happy we got what we got. I am happy with it too. What they miss is he's distinguished himself by highlighting the blocking as an important tool. I agree. And I believe that's going to be something that really helps us in the run game. Really going to help us. Rashida, what's going on? Afternoon, D and the Off the Record family. What's going on, Rashida? Glad to have you as always. Also, he don't like Lance Swan, huh? How come you don't watch him? That was a joke. Oh, I know. He way too young for Lance Swan. He way too young for that. That second Browns pick had me nervous. Once we traded and we still got a top lineman, I was definitely okay. I had belief that we was gonna go wide receiver. That's what I had. These are the people that write the articles about these athletes. Yep. So if you don't know what the person did in college, how can you really give any insight about said player? You don't know what they were in college. You don't know what they worked on in college. And what's the thing that he highlighted? I took one back in college. That was something that I highlighted when people said about his shiftiness. I was like, yeah, but he was on punt return. He returned one. A lot of people missed that about his college career. They don't know anything about them. They don't know nothing. Casey's skill set will be more visible with pads. I cannot wait. Yeah, because it'll show really how quick he is, how shifty he is. I don't think the Rams thought they were taking Ty Simpson. Nobody but the GM. That's about it. Because if you watch that last Rams game, they lost that game on special teams. And not because they gave up big returns, really. They lost that because of their returner could not field punts. Couldn't field punts. So I was like, they definitely going to take KC. They had other plans, and I'm glad they did. They had other plans, and I'm glad they did, because it just opened the door for us to do what we needed to do. And also, I'll tell y'all something else. I don't believe the Myles Garrett trade happens without them taking Ty Simpson. If they go somewhere else, then I don't know if they make that trade. I knew Barry had a chance to get 2 top wide receivers in the past draft. Did y'all see the practice video of Ty Simpson in practice? Casey, I'm going to say this first, and then I don't know if they were running scramble drills. I'm going to say that first. I don't know if they were running scramble drills, but that video looked insane with him running all over the place. It looked, he just ran from a clean pocket. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing. I'm willing to admit, I don't know if that was intentional scramble drills, but that video was insane. I'm like, where are you going? You ever watch your TV and you move with the person as they move around? That was me. I was moving all over the place. Mrs. Brown, what's going on? Glad to have you. Yeah, I'm surprised the Rams. I thought what they were gonna go at. That's why I said, I'm like, maybe it was scramble drill, but he was running all over the place, and I'm like, man, he's just not seeing it. He's not seeing it. That's what they said Shedeur would do. I agree. I thought the Rams would pick different wide receivers, so it's you and me both, Tessa. Sean McVay wasn't looking for a QB in 2026. Yeah, because it's like you're trying to solve a problem that you don't have, so it didn't make sense. And then they end up signing Matt Stafford for more money. I don't believe Ty Simpson can hit the field this year, and they can have confidence that they can go in and beat anybody. I don't believe that. Just got back from Georgia, had a funeral. Condolences and sorry for your loss, Ms. Brown. Glad you made it back. To the East Coast. You're up there, New York, New Jersey area, so glad you made it back safely, and condolences to you and your family. Andrew Berry and Monken had a plan going into the draft, which paid off. I agree. And they thought they were picking between Denzel Boston and Emmanuel McNeil Warren. They thought they were picking between those two, and they went with Denzel Boston, only to see that they only had to trade up a little bit to also get Emmanuel McNeil Warren. So it really worked out for them. Browns fleeced them on that trade. Watch when it's all done. We'll get more W's from the trade than the Rams ever will. Did they just have one press conference today, not live anymore? So what I saw initially was it was supposed to be 2 people live, and then let me look up something real quick. It was supposed to be a couple players and then Todd Monken at 12:50. So let me see if they changed the schedule. Let me look at it real quick. Select players at 12, Todd Monken at 12:50. Let's do this. Let's get to the video that Black Pearl sent me. Let me go grab it real quick. Black Pearl sent me a video, so I'll go get it. we'll react to that video, and then if they go live, somebody let me know. Let me find it real quick. Let's go here. Where's the video at for my history? I think it was on Patreon. Yeah, I'll keep looking at what the Browns are doing. Let me grab this video, and we could review this video while we're waiting, because otherwise we got like 20 minutes to go before Coach Monken is supposed to go live.
From hard hats to steel-toed boots, Granger's got your safety.
Calm down. Calm down. I don't need this. Let's see. Let's share. Shout out to Tessa for the 100 Jews. I appreciate you. Thank you for the marshmallow high. I appreciate you. All right, so I found the video I want to play, y'all. I'm probably going to have to play this from the other angle just so we can look at it right. All right, so the channel is called The Difference Media. The Difference Media, and I believe his handle is Smoke the Difference, I believe. So we're going to play this, but let me slightly change something real quick. And then if we get anybody else live, somebody let me know. Let me do this real quick. Y'all give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Let's see. What are we going to play? I don't want to keep playing something in your ear. Let's do thank you to Patreon. This is not the outro, but I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 minute, and then we're going to listen to Smoke the Difference Media. Let's go. Where's my camera? There's my camera. My camera is back. All right, let's go to here. Let me share this on the screen here. Okay. All right. Shout out to Black Pearl for sending this to me. He was at training camp. I think this was from Friday's training camp, if I'm not mistaken. I think this was from Friday's training camp. But Black Pearl sent this to me. Let's get this sound and let's go. All right, he set it up.
Passes, the passes that you're supposed to make in this type.
Let's go about here.
Watson looks cooked. And I hate to say that. That's with all due respect. Deshaun Watson looks cooked. And that's from firsthand perspective. Okay? Now today, what I'll tell you, because I haven't heard anybody's stories, I haven't heard anybody's comments, and I can't wait to, because I talked to everybody today. They might not believe I talked to everybody today. We talked to Zach Jackson. We sat and had an extended conversation with Boog. We talked to Coach Riz. We talked to G. Bush. So I can't wait to hear how they're going to try and spin it. There's going to be a lot of downplaying as far as Shedeur Sanders. They're going to try and tell you it looked okay from Shedeur. You know why? Because he wasn't throwing the sexy passes today. As far as, your deep balls, everything that you'll see on a highlight reel type of thing. No. But your short and intermediate, moving the chains type of passes, the passes that you're supposed to make in this type of setting, this type of environment, my boy was making. And one thing I will say is the offensive line, they're going to have to figure out what 5 they're using. The first team, when they put them out there, they look solid. That second offensive line, Bloody Mary. They're getting cooked. Them boys fish fillet, $3.50, man. Hey, but man, back to what I'm telling you. I sat and I talked to Boog, and I sat and I talked to Jason Lloyd.
So this is the part that I found very interesting. What's going on, Phaedra? Welcome in. Glad to have you. This is the part that I found interesting when he actually is going to talk about the conversation he had with JL. They bring up the offense struggling. Every training camp. Isn't the defense supposed to be ahead of the offense anyways? It's usually naturally that way, as long as I can remember. Boots on the ground is good. I agree with that as well. So definitely shout out to Black Pearl for putting me on. Marie, yeah, I've been in Smoke's lives. He's from Cleveland. Is going to the practices. Shout out to Marie. So Marie said, hey, I watched him before. He's out there in the city. Shout out to him. If you don't know his channel, let's go down here, show y'all. The Difference Media. That is THA Difference Media. So this is his handle. Just so y'all can see. All right, let's go. I need someone to do another tracker because I'm pretty sure numbers are getting inflated. You know what's happening? Since they got them going on doing 2 fields at the same time, it's really hard to identify what's happening on both sides. So that's how they kind of miss certain passes. They miss things. So I don't even know if it's accurate. To me, that's kind of why I haven't highlighted the tracker. We just saw inconsistencies in the numbers previously, so I was just like, it don't really matter. When we got this many clips coming out, we can kind of identify and make the most of it versus listening to them. So that's why I really haven't even spoke on the tracker that much.
This is the craziest thing. I talked to Jason Lloyd and Bull probably the most out of everybody. So 2 of the most consummate people that you can say are on the other side of the spectrum. I sat and I talked to them. And shout out to Quick Clips. First question I told you I was going to ask him, what are you looking at when you're judging a quarterback? What are you looking at when you're judging a quarterback?
I feel you on that.
You know what Jason Lloyd had nerve to tell me? He said, I'm not watching anything except for 11 on 11. What? I'm trying. Hey, you can't make it up. And shouts out because it's respect there, man. I appreciated him sitting there and having a conversation with me. But he said he's not watching any of the individual drills. He's not watching any 7-on-7s. He's not watching anything. Jason Lloyd told me he's only watching 11-on-11s. And then, Money, how you watching and you way down in the end zone? Tell me you can see what was going on. What Jason Lloyd, Zach Jackson, Boog, all my guys were way down in the end zone. So if they talking about watching anything with their eyes, listen, when they got the team, I saw G. Bush start walking down the sideline. I said, oh, yeah, it's time to go. Let me grab my stuff. And I walked. I walked down and I watched. These guys were still down in the end zone. You know why? Because they're going to text somebody. And when I talked to Jason, this is what Jason had to say. He literally said, nobody wants to believe me, but the exact same thing that he says on the air, and I believe him. He said everything that he's telling you, he's heard from someone inside of the Browns building. He wouldn't tell me who. But the exact same thing that he says on the air, and he said it vehemently. You know when somebody's talking and they really can feel, you can almost feel what they're telling you. It was like I could feel him saying, like, please don't hate me. He felt like I was a Shedeur or somebody. But the energy he was giving off was like, please, I'm just telling you what they're saying in there. He's not a football guy. And he even said to me, he never claimed to be a football guru as far as knowing the quarterback spot, knowing what to look at, knowing coverages, diagnosing that. What he's going off of is what people are texting him, right? But how are we going to fairly evaluate quarterbacks and come out and stamp somebody if you don't know what you're looking at, or we're not going to watch correctly?
Let me pause him right here. That is the issue I have with Jason Lloyd. I'm not mad at Jason Lloyd for what he says. I'm mad at Jason Lloyd for repeating things that have been proven to be factually incorrect. That's my issue with him. And I had to say his name that time. But that is my issue with him. My issue with him is he goes on and he says these things only to have to backtrack it when he actually writes his articles. And then he blatantly says he doesn't understand. He says, I'm not a film guy. So you're just pushing whatever these guys say. That's why I came up with microphones. And you can't determine if what they're telling you is true before you say it. Before you say it, you don't know if it's true. So he said, well, he doesn't change the checks at the line, only to follow that up with Joe Flacco doesn't change the checks at the line, meaning that's more of what they do in this offense. He then goes on to say he has the worst EPA only to have to backtrack. He then says, I'm not a film guy. He doesn't really know what he's watching. And I'll tell y'all something. Jason Lloyd covered the Cavs. I've known Jason Lloyd from covering the Cavs. I did not know Jason Lloyd from covering football. I've seen people say he started covering football in 2020 when they started UCSS. Okay, Quincy is talking now, but it's not live. Got you. I definitely want to see Quincy. Y'all know the Joker, that's my dude. So why would you say things with your chest that you don't know if they're true or not? If you go and you say, okay, you told me he had the worst EPA since 2000, that wasn't true, I would stop listening to that person's information. If you say he doesn't make tight window throws and then people put up a highlight reel of the tight window throws he throws, I would stop making that accusation. If you say he doesn't know how to read defenses, people prove and show him reading defenses. Other people say this is how he read the defense that I was actually playing against him in. You should stop saying it. So I don't get it. I don't get it. I thought this was good insight from somebody who was actually there, and also him explaining his case. Stop peddling the narratives that you don't know what you're looking at. You've got mail. Shout out to Zedric. All right. So, yes. All right, there we go. I'm going to see if I can find that in a second. So, is someone in the management side talking if it's true? See, this is the thing. He's been saying that stuff for so long. I don't believe he's hearing those things this year because the quarterback coach came out and spoke against what information he's been putting out. So if the quarterback coach who is here now is speaking against what you were saying, are you still using information you received last year? Or I don't want to know your source. Did you hear any of these things? Have you heard any of this since July 1st this year? If you haven't heard any of this since July 1st of 2026, you got to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Shout out to Black Pearl. She put the Frozen meme under my stuff. That's what it was. You got to let it go, man. You got to let it go. You got to let that old stuff go. You were just making yourself look silly and losing the whatever credibility that you were trying to have. So I thought that was interesting. Let me double check something real quick. Let me see if we got anything new from the Browns. Still nothing new. Let's do a refresh. Okay, no new videos, nothing yet. Okay, we waiting. Maybe they're having some issues, and we'll see if they go live at 12:50. Plausible deniability. I agree with that. All right, let's go back to the difference media. Let's get that back up. All right, let's hear more.
So shouts out to them, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it, and by no way am I dissing them, slighting them, or anything, because I appreciated the time that they gave me to talk to them. But that's one thing I took away from when I talked to Jason Lloyd, and I asked him, when we're I said any quarterback, it doesn't have to be Shedeur, it doesn't have to be Watson. What are you looking at? And
you got hell. What's going on, Maya?
The answer I got wasn't, as far as acumen of the game, wasn't where I would have hoped it to be. What's going on, JB? Too smooth. What's going on, family? How you doing? So we're gonna go home, man. We're gonna cook. We're gonna have some things, because I got some footage for you guys. I got a couple things we got to clip up, man. I had to get in here and let you guys know, though. Right now, the QB competition is over. There's no competition. Watson is cooked. To me personally, it looks like he's shot putting passes. It looks like he's trying to guide the ball there. It's not it.
All right, let's pause this and let's look at what Zedric has sent us. He's proven he doesn't really care about the game. I agree. It's just a job. All right, they're back to live. All right, shout out to you. I appreciate you, Zedric. All right, let's go back here. Just going through the motions. What's going on, Maya? Maya, that content creator, his name is The Difference Maker. He's in Cleveland, and he was at Browns training camp on Friday. That was his reaction to watching training camp on Friday. All right, so let me get this back up. Protect your fake sources. Protect your fake sources. That's funny. All right, we got the back live. We're going to wait and see who's next. So in translation, Lloyd is bearing false witness, co-signing a false narrative. Yes. Did Todd and Barry say they were impressed by the progress of Anderson at OTAs? I would have to go back. I'll have to go back and listen to them after OTAs. I've heard so much information. All right, we got the Todd Father.
First day of gap schemes. So we'll definitely get a chance to see movement at the line of scrimmage. Obviously, defensively, we're going to wrap and release. So tackling-wise, there's no really touching off per se. Obviously, O-line-wise is the biggest thing. O-line, D-line in the trenches, where we're at from a physicality standpoint.
All right, I'm just going to pause them real quick here just to tell y'all. So when I was highlighting y'all that his offensive scheme is more balanced. So last week they were talking about installing for outside zone. Gap schemes, you beat me to it, Zedric. Gap schemes like traps and whams, yes. So they're going to use the tight end coming across. They're going to use they're going to use the guards moving in motion. So they're going to run multiple types of run plays. That's a more balanced attack. Everybody doesn't do it that way. Some people, they like gap schemes. Kevin Stefanski went to more gap schemes later on. When he started out with more of wide zone, his wide zone worked better for him. So this lets you know that this team is going to be more balanced with how they call things, and I'm excited for it. That's why I think I said it in Patreon. I'm really excited for the guards, because if we got athletic guards, they're going to be lead blocking a lot. So I'm excited for it. Also, tight ends, you're going to see tight ends getting a lot of free hits on D tackles in the gap schemes. All right, let's go. D ends and D tackles.
The other day we saw our first kind of fight at camp. I don't know if it was a real fight or not. Do you have a policy on that? Do you have a message to the team when that stuff happens?
Well, I don't think I've ever been through a camp where there hasn't been a scuffle. We got prideful guys, guys that love to compete, love to practice, and that's going to happen. I mean, it's a physical sport. You're going to have those pop up every now and then.
Todd, you mentioned
That's exactly as Zedric. Balance equal unpredictable in this case. Yes, that's exactly it. So since Kevin Stefanski ran so much gap, they knew that like a D tackle could blow up a play, because the running back is waiting for the pulling guard to get in front of him to be that lead blocker, which will signal where the play was going. If you don't know if you need to protect the outside or try to mess up the line in their first step on a zone, outside zone play or gap scheme, it's that extra layer of them thinking on defense. They're thinking, because if you know we run all these different schemes, Todd Monken even was running outside toss plays last year, which a lot of people got away from. So you got to defend the whole field when it comes to running the ball, and that keeps people thinking longer, which is a positive. All right, let's go.
O-line, D-line. How does the evaluation change for those two groups in particular when the pads come on, and what are you kind of looking for?
Well, without the pads, you're talking about footwork, communication, are you in the right spot, and certainly, hand placement. But then when you put the pads on, now it's finish. Now it's our ability to defensively, shed and get off blocks, point of contact, physicality. So we're looking forward to that. And our tight ends, that's a big part of it, and our fullbacks. All 11.
Hey, Todd, we talked to Quincy Williams earlier today. What have you learned most about him since you guys have been together?
Well, he is so much fun to be around. Let's start with that. Never had a bad day. Maybe not around me, he hasn't. Loves football, loves his teammates. That's what I see every day. I mean, he's a special individual. People that are wired that way, that when you talk about energy, attitude, and body language, I mean, you look that up. I don't even know if that's probably not in the dictionary. But if you looked it up, Quincy Williams' picture's right next to that, because that's who he is.
What, you talked about, first 8 days or install. How much does the format of practice change once you get past Thursdays, that 8th day? Do you sort of alter, kind of because it seems like there's been a fairly standard routine for practice. How much does that change once you get out of the All-Star?
It'll be similar. What'll change is when we're drilling down to what we're really going to run, what we plan on focusing on. Certainly you're going to dive into more situational football because you're done with your main installs. That'll come into play, but ultimately we'll continue to build off of our installs and the things we're going to do as we move forward.
Todd, you were with Mike Evans. I don't know, was it his rookie year?
I was with Mike Evans in Tampa.
Yeah.
I was with Mike, if I have it right, I was with him in his 3rd, 4th, and 5th year. I think he'd been there a year, then they drafted Jameis, and then I think I got him 3, 4, 5, I think.
Okay, so Boston, compared to him, is it fair that early in Evans' career do you see?
We're back on that Carson and Kuechly thing here. We're comparing a little early to compare to Mike Evans, who is an absolute stud not only from his size, catch radius, ability to bend, get in and out of breaks, has an unbelievable competitive spirit to want to win. When I was with him, he never complained about balls coming his way. He knew they would come his way. And I loved coaching Mike Evans. I mean, he is a absolute stud and fun to be around. And Denzel has some of those attributes in terms of catch radius. I haven't seen it yet, the edge that Mike plays with, but he's still a rookie, so I wasn't there his first 2 years. But I think the catch radius and the ability to throw it up to him, you do see certain aspects of Mike's game in him.
I know we've talked to you already a little bit about Dylan Gabriel, but each day he keeps going out there and stacking consistent days. Is it maybe in some ways a little unfortunate that he wasn't able to show more or do more, with the first or second team, just based on the situation that you guys are in?
Yeah, I mean, it's at some point when you start in the spring or some point in the spring and the fall, you have to set some form of a depth chart in terms of reps. That's just the way it goes. And I said it the other day, the player, everybody's competing, but you're not guaranteed the same amount of reps. So it's up to the player to take advantage and maximize those reps, which I feel like Dylan has done. So we see as we move forward, if that continues, we'll continue to up his reps. I mean, he's earned that. That's what every player should expect, right? If they play well, you have to up their reps, or what's the purpose of playing well?
Todd, beyond the scuffle, the offense defense felt like they've been pretty chippy at each other, pushing each other really hard. Do you appreciate that level of intensity between the two groups? Is like the cliche iron sharpens iron, but are you seeing that out there?
Sure. I think it's a lot of fun to be around. As long as it stays within, it's us against the world, it's us against an opponent, not us against us, from offense to defense. And I have not seen that. I've seen the fun side of that. I don't think the scuffle had to do so much with the back and forth. What I do see is our coaches and players having fun in a very, very tough sport that you have to stack days, and it only gets tougher from here when you put the pads on every day.
Denzel talked to us about maybe having a chip on his shoulder just after the draft and wanting to prove people wrong. I guess for you as a coach, that sort of drive, how have you seen that so far in him?
Well, at some point, I mean, I don't know how long that goes. I don't know. I think at some point in practice, you're not thinking about, boy, I got drafted where I got drafted. I mean, at some point, it doesn't matter. I mean, at that point, what pick was he?
39.
Holy cow, you're the 39th best player in a draft? I mean, that's pretty damn good. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but I don't see it as that. I see it as there's a lot of really good football players out there, and you go with the 39th pick. I mean, that's pretty special. So if he feels that internally, I'm fine with that if that's what fuels him. But at this point, it's about being the best player you can be, fighting like hell to get to your second contract when it really matters at that point.
How important is Mason?
One more thing on Denzel. He told us that between the walkthrough and the meetings, that they're 2 3-hour sessions a day. My question to you is,
What did he say? He said what now? He said what?
He said 3-hour blocks of meetings in the morning and at night.
All right. We meet at 8 and walkthroughs at 11. So, but there's breaks in there. He's taking it to an extreme. All right. He's taking that to a whole nother level there. I mean, there are some breaks in there. And then after practice, we only get them for 11 hours, right? I mean, we do get the full time. So if they lift at 7, they have to be gone by 6. If they start at 8, they can be gone by 7. So somewhere in there is lift, if we lift that day, meetings, walk, lunch, prep for practice, practice, meet. So I don't really know exactly where all that falls, but that is normal camp calendar.
so my question is, do you have to guard against information overload with all that meeting time?
That's what the meeting time is for. It's not really to overload them. It's to help them. Does that make sense? Now, do I find it difficult? Do I think all of us, to sit there the whole time? We give them breaks. They can bring in snacks, help them to take notes. We have video, try to change our voice a little bit, try to keep them excited about it. That's up to them to be a pro. If they start falling asleep, stand up. Got to get the information. It is different than college. I mean, there's a lot of information there, and we expect them to be pros.
Todd, with Mason, what did you see from him last year, early in camp, and then just how important is he?
Let me pause this. They totally changed what Denzel Boston said. Denzel Boston, they asked him, what's the hardest part? And he said, well, I guess you can get a little drowsy in the meetings. They go from 8 to 11, then they have another meeting in the afternoon after practice. That's what he said. Then they followed up with, oh, so you have that much meeting time in a day? And he said, yes. But they were like, oh, did you struggle with that? And he said, it's very similar to what happened at Washington, where they wanted to mimic what an NFL day was, plus classes. So their lack of understanding, they changed the point of what he was answering. They changed his answer into something different. When I always say they have a lack of understanding, Exhibit Z at this point, they just don't understand what these guys do on a day-to-day basis. They don't understand it, y'all. They don't understand it. He brings them orange wedges and juice boxes on the long days. For real. They just don't get it. They don't get it. Let's go back.
To what you're trying to do defensively?
Well, I mean, talk about ball get off. You know, what I didn't know is I always saw him as maybe an undersized inside guy with great ball get off that's disruptive. What he is that, but I think he's not going Luke Kuechly here, but in terms of the D-line, in terms of calls and anticipation, right, of what he's going to see, communication, quarterback, verbal, O-line, you know, in terms of their calls, I see it every day. He is not only that, but he is more because he really understands football, and he anticipates what offenses are trying to do to him, and that I didn't know. Jesse Minter told me that had him in Michigan, told me that at the owners' meetings. He said, no, he's much more than just a guy that gets off the ball. He's fun to watch. You know, it's hard as an offensive head coach. Every now and then you can be a little bit of whiny, you know, when they're disruptive, but it's awesome for us.
Todd, you probably I saw on a play in which, not yesterday, but the day before, where Quinshon kind of lit up Mike Hall a little bit, and I'm just wondering, you know, is that it's football? I know it's football practice, but is that the kind of thing that I mean, are you cool with that if you know?
Well, no, I mean, in the heat of the moment, what happened on the practice field, and I've met with Quinshon about it, there is a certain amount of regret, right, at the moment when it happens. But we are all human, and we do make mistakes, and that's what I always tell our team. I said, you got to fight to not get hijacked emotionally in a highly emotional game, or all of us, whether it's in our work or emotional or our personal lives, try not to get hijacked emotionally. But to me, where you go from here is we are human. I said this the other day. We're going to fall short. Are you going to own it? And then are we going to fix it? And that's just a speed bump. That's all it is. It was a mistake.
Is Schlesinger back today?
What's that?
Carson Schlesinger.
He will not be back. He's dealing with a little minor injury, so he will not be back today.
Any update on Royer?
I do not, no.
Good. Todd, last one. Going back to just the
A lot of pressure on the last one. Seemed like there was a little stagger right there. Just I got one.
Yeah.
All right.
This is kind of maybe a big picture for you. You could probably take in a lot of different directions just off the top of your head. Maybe the main way you think the coaching profession has changed and the way it stayed the same throughout your.
Wow, that's the last one that's going to, okay, how the coaching profession has changed and how it has stayed the same.
And you could even, instead of going back to the beginning of your coaching career, you could even start at NFL, about almost 20 years now.
Well, first off, the staffs have gotten so much bigger. Hell, we got 28 coaches, for God's sakes. I mean, hell, back then, back then, I'll just talk college. Back then when I first started, like, you only had these coaches. You didn't even have the support staff. Hell, you'd be coaching running backs and you'd have travel. Hey, you'd be planning Shoney's breakfast and damn the Holiday Inn Express or shit where you're staying. You know, you had one guy had academics. This guy, like, hell, you'd see one coach taping and shit, lining the fields. I mean, that's what my dad did when I was little. That's what you did. Now you got so much support staff and you have a big coaching staff. It allows you to really focus on certain aspects of the job, if that makes sense. Certain guys don't have to draw cards anymore. You have guys to do that. And from a game planning standpoint, preparation standpoint, it's the money that now goes into staffing I love, because it allows you to really drill down into certain things you want to focus on. Where it's changed the most, I would say, is I would just say that it has changed in terms of, first of all, what is hard? You know, like, everything's always hard. It's just a matter of what you compare it to, right? The old 3-a-days and 2-a-days, then 1-a-days, and then a day off, right? Like, of what it used to be, but obviously the training these days in terms of where our players' bodies are, but certainly in terms of, like, training camp has changed in terms of, you know, getting them for 11 hours and they're out of here, which I think makes it a lot more manageable. But, you know, I like the time with the players, but that has certainly changed in terms of the amount of time you get with the guys also in the off season, the amount of time you get with the guys. And so, but, you know, staffs have changed, the sizes have changed, and then the amount of time you get with the players has changed.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. So, that is the press conference. Another interesting series of questions that they asked during this time. Kind of didn't really make too much sense in the questions they were asking. So they were trying to get him out of there. When the lead content creator asked about the Quinshon Judkins hit on Mike Hall, all right, got you, Cedric. When Quinshon hit Mike Hall, it's, you got to protect your guys when they don't got pads on, and it looked as if Mike Hall slowed down because he might have been hurt or he might have felt something where he wasn't full go on the play. So in that instance, versus your own guys this early in camp, Quinshon is just doing what Quinshon is doing, but you want to see, hey, this guy's pulling up. I probably shouldn't light him up right now because this is one of our guys that we're going to need. So that's what he was speaking to when he was responding to that. That's what he was speaking to. You don't want to hit guys like that with no pads, especially a player who has been often injured since he's been on the Browns. He's been injured quite a few times, so you don't want to add to that. Yeah, he definitely gonna do that in game. He's definitely gonna do that in game. Browns media don't understand why players don't like talking to him. They just lack understanding. I don't understand how, if you've been doing something for 15, 10, 12 years, you don't even know what a schedule is for the players. I don't understand how they don't know that. I don't understand how they don't want to know more about their craft and get a better understanding about what the players go through on day to day. But hey, man, I can't call it, y'all. I can't call it. I don't know what it is. Nobody got a fair chance last season with Stefanski, with Monken taking charge. He is doing it the right way. I don't fault the rookies from last year with what they endured. Yeah, it was just messed up. Messed up situation last year. They are just exposing how little they know about football. That's a fact. They don't really know much. You can tell based on the questions. He said, what? For real. But come on, man. The questions that they are asking is like, they have never been part of a football camp or season. Are they new or are they just that dense? You don't have another set of questions. They are that dense, unfortunately. It's just crazy. It is crazy. Why do we know more about the players they're questioning them? Because we care. We care. We care. We care. They don't care, man. They just getting a check. They getting a check. That's what that is. They're getting a check. Let me find something for y'all real quick. Let me see. See if I can find it. ChatGPT could do better questions than them. I agree. Dang, I can't find it. Y'all remember the meme of the guy where he was waving the wand and he just letting everybody go through the metal detector? That's them showing up just to collect a check. Not them really putting in the work. Not them really having a good or better understanding of what's really going on. Can I tell y'all something? Chase Daniels just popped up on my YouTube, and I really don't like how he's using Shedeur for clout and reposting stuff he did last year. I just can't get with it. I just can't get with it. Let's, before I go on the tangent there, let's look at what we got for overtime. Shout out to the plug. Shout out to Zedric. We got some of the clips of them speaking to the Joker, Quincy Williams. All right, this is one clip here. Get to it. Sound on.
When we barking at them, or ain't nothing personal when we beating their ass.
Say it with me, D. Grifter. For real. I just saw him and I was like, man, I just could not. I could not go for this. I just seeing it, I'm like, man, I can't go for this. I can't go for this. Chase knows Shedeur brings him views. Facts. Facts. Facts on facts on facts.
Man, I let them know that, hey, I got a brown.
Here we go.
When we barking at them, or ain't nothing personal when we beating their ass, man. I let them know that, hey, I got a brown jersey for you, or whatever jersey we got. You can always join this side.
How would you kind of describe his leadership and coaching style?
Straightforward. He gonna tell you how it is. He gonna tell you what he want. He gonna tell you what he expect. And if you're not giving that, he gonna let you know right then, right there. So I love that part about it, because it ain't no question about where you stand with him. It ain't no question about where you are in this position or anything like that.
Straightforward. There's no questions on where you stand or where you at with anything. That's what I can appreciate. I can appreciate that from the Todd Father. He's making it known and letting it be clear. All right, and we got another one.
Pass day, man. I think I had the favorite day of the year, every single year, the pass day, man. I think I had my pass laid out, made sure I had everything ready. So I'm excited today.
It's like Christmas Day.
For real, Christmas Day. Get to spruce up my helmet a little bit, break in my shoulder pads, might run into a wall a little bit, make sure I'm good. Anybody who got the ball, I'm trying to get it. It's like a cheetah chasing the gazelle. I'm hungry today. I'm hungry. It's my favorite day of the year, every single year, the pass day, man.
I keep telling y'all, this is not a team trying to lose. It's like a cheetah chasing a gazelle. Let's run it back so we can hear it.
Might run into a wall a little bit, make sure I'm good. Anybody who got the ball, I'm trying to get it. It's like a cheetah chasing the gazelle. I'm hungry today. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry today. I'm hungry. This is not a team that signed up to lose. Just want to let y'all know. Chase is one of those that tries to straddle the fence, just pick a side. Facts. What time is practice? I've seen stuff 1:15, but it could start a little late. Could start at 1:30. Somewhere in the next 5 to 20 minutes, practice will be started, Marie. He wants to be positive on Shedeur as a former QB and hate on him to get anyone but Shedeur group to watch him too. I agree with that. Playing both sides. Quincy had his back to work fit laid out on the bed last night. Facts. My binoculars, she has backed up since Shiloh called her out. Plus, the new staff doesn't know the Cleveland media. They do not trust him. They don't trust him. It's crazy you said that about him. I felt the same way. If there's so many options, no one is watching your content. But honestly, it's what everybody's doing. So, hey, can you blame him? I'm going to say yes, I'm going to blame him. I'm going to say yes, I'm going to blame Chase Daniels for doing it. I'm going to say yes. I would say yes. I'm going to say yes. I do blame him. I try to limit. If you notice, if you look at my thumbnails, if you look at my titles, even a channel that heavily covers the Cleveland Browns, I even limit how often I use Shedeur in thumbnails and titles and all those things. So people can do whatever they want to do. So it's his choice. I just can't get with Chase. I can't get with him. I just want to say I don't like Chase Daniels. He posts something about Shedeur at least once a week, shaking my head. Facts. Yeah, I can't get with him. I can't. I can't. I gave him 10 seconds of thought. I can't get with it. It's time to color the green to orange, Quincy. Oh, he not changing it. That's for the Joker. That's for the Joker. I think everybody thinks it's for the Jets because he got drafted to the Jets, but that's definitely because he is the Joker. He is the Joker. He is the Joker. All those media guys are flip-flopping from last year. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this one. It's another one in the books. It's another one in the books. Shout out to each and every one of y'all for being here. Also, some more fun. Hopefully you saw the message. If you want to give a reaction to what you saw at camp, we can do it in a voicemail format. Let me know if you have interest. We can get that firsthand information from you, and then we can play that on the stream on Friday. So let me know if you want to do that. Let me know over there on Patreon if you want to do that. Also, we got some more segments coming. That's kind of hitting at one of the segments we got coming with I Just Asked Selmo Fudd. So you just got to pay attention. If you want to take your support to the next level, you can always tap into the Patreon. We're doing live stuff over there really soon. We're going to be going live on Tuesdays. It's going to be Patreon exclusive, Patreon only, where we'll be breaking down game film. So definitely something to check out. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this one with y'all. Patreon, I will see y'all in the group chat. YouTube, I will see you on Wednesday. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all Wednesday. Keep eliminating the gray, and peace, everybody. I blame Jizzle, but he is not lying. Chase did say he would not make the team. I reacted to it last year. I remember last year, I never let that thing go when Chase said Shedeur was not going to make the team, or he was fighting to even make the team. So shout out to Jizzle pulling those receipts. I will not forget he said that. That was the start of me looking at him sideways. So shout out to Jizzle. He got that last answer out of me.